Classic.
My Name is Earl was different. Okay, I might have to watch that tonight. I don't even think that's stupid. Thank you. I don't even know how you run
Are you recording?
Yes, I'm recording these dudes. You are tuned into Black Pew Podcast. They're just reminiscing about a show that we're glad got canceled.
You're such a
After a very long time.
A very long time.
It was only on for like 6 seasons.
That's a long
6 seasons a run.
That's 5 seasons too long.
I mean, Fresh Prince was 6 seasons.
I'm sorry.
Fresh Prince.
But that was
Martin was 5.
Yeah,
Martin could have went 7.
Nah.
If Martin if he had not have had that stroke, and then if he didn't have the stroke, and then went in the writers' room, that show would have lasted at least 2 more seasons. And him and he had tried to push up on.
That's a lot
Gina.
of what ifs. That is a lot.
It's only
Homeboy
3.
changed like 8 variables.
It's only
Those are
3.
big variables.
Listen, if he would have been a better person,
Yeah.
if there would have been more money, if they would have had
Maybe left the drugs alone.
Yeah,
But he had a
everything would have been great.
He had a heat stroke.
That's sad.
But I'm saying, there's levels to the writing, and if you ever want to, if you get past the hair, and you can see, My Name Is Earl was written immaculately.
I like the chick on there. She was dope.
Yeah, no,
Jamie, I forget her
Presley.
name. Yeah, Jamie Presley.
Yeah, she was different.
She was.
This nigga slapped the plate on Shorty's hand and said, "It's like I like peas, ho."
Wow, that's wild.
Okay, I got some questions for y'all.
Hey,
Yeah, I'm ready.
the genie's coming.
Genie's coming. The wizard's coming.
Oh, I was about to say we got a new segment.
You gotta pick between the two.
Is it the Wizard or the Wiz?
Okay.
Well,
Wiz.
for this one, it's the Wiz.
Okay.
Be unable to pee without looking into someone else's eyes,
Wait, what?
This is
or
wild. Do we
have to give a shoulder rub whenever you're in line. Whenever you get in a line, have to give the person in front of you a shoulder rub.
Or I have to look somebody in their eye when I pee.
Yes.
I'll go with the shoulder rub.
A shoulder rub, it doesn't matter. You do not know any person.
I'll do
The
shoulder
person
rub.
doesn't even know it's coming though.
It does not know it's coming.
You just have
do-
to.
No. I'm looking in a nigga's eyes. Yeah.
No, I'm not.
I'm looking in a woman or a nigga's eyes.
I am not looking into a dude's eyes while I hold my junk.
But not even just that. But I'm thinking, even for a woman,
is it actual eyes? Because someone can't just appear. I'm at
so
home.
Right.
So I'm at home.
I'm at Walmart. Hey, so I have to take a pee. I need you to come and look me in my eye in my stall. Because at least y'all are in the urinal.
You're right. That's almost like
Because
intercourse. That's crazy.
Right, because I'm in the stall.
You're right.
Like, hey,
I
don't
recant
know
my
you,
statement.
But I need you to come with me into the stall real quick so I can look you in the eye.
Rubbing
while I
shoulders
pee.
might get me punched in the face, but looking in somebody's eyes while I'm using the bathroom is almost like intercourse.
And what if they say, no, I'm not going in your stall with you? Then you're like, so you just got to hold it and someone says yes?
So you just have to hold the door open.
No, but I thought there was just imaginary
Oh,
eyes.
so I can hold the door open and just look at whoever. But what if nobody's in there?
You're gonna be a minute to Worcester State if that happens.
Yeah, what if nobody's in there?
I can get away with the
So
shoulder rub because I
basically-
never have to.
I
get
have to
in
hold
line.
it till someone comes in and
The
look them in their
wizard
face.
comes, bam. Every time you get to pee,
He
Some
gives
random.
me. He
there's
gives
some
me
random
someone.
person staring dead at you.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
Or I have to rub the shoulders of whoever's in front of me.
Yep.
So can I get in a fight behind that, or is it just randomly?
If you get into a fight, you get into a fight. That's up to you. You don't know how to talk. But also, even if you're in the drive-thru, you have to get out the car and rub the shoulders until the line is done. Until you're in front.
Then I'm ordering everything through Uber Eats or DoorDash. So yeah, I guess that's what we on.
So you guys are gonna think I'm weird. I would rather look someone in the eyes, simply because I have a germ issue. I don't want to be touching people, which is
But you're
funny.
gonna sit
'cause I
on
did
public
here.
toilets.
I don't sit on public toilets. I squat.
So you're gonna Mary J. Blige squat
And
while
look you
you
dead in your face.
look dead in somebody's eyes.
Over touching a stranger.
Does the person disappear afterwards? Like where do they go?
That's wild. I guess.
Yeah, I feel like you need to think through these.
That's
The person what?
So she's gonna be sitting there making everything happen, and then someone's just gonna disappear. Like she's gonna get out the stall to go wash her hands, and then they just disappear.
Yeah, they go. Yeah.
I could
do
do
they
it.
walk away, or do they just literally disappear in some smoke?
If they're not in front of you, the portal closes.
So question: do they come over the stall wall? Because that
No.
would be wild.
No, the
Literally
wizard brings them to you.
Literally like a box, a window. and you're gonna stare at their eyes the whole time.
Oh, that's spiritual. I can make that happen.
I could do that.
If it was like that. Now, if someone was peeking over, like...
I don't want to touch a stranger. I can't. The idea of touching a random stranger in front of me.
I already don't stand in line, so I'm cool.
That's hilarious.
Yeah,
I would rather just look someone in the face.
Yeah, be at the Dollar Tree. I could rub somebody's shoulders in the Dollar Tree. I
dude,
just get
those
behind.
are
I
the
get
worst
behind cute.
ones.
I get behind
That'd be
cute.
a fight.
I go behind cute girls.
Until they punch you or mace you.
They can punch me as a cute girl. Like, I don't think she got hands like that. Probably.
But
Listen, touch me. I'm a.
here's the thing.
Wait, Mom.
Nah, they might not have hands, but they have tasers and guns now. So, like, listen, touch me if you want to. Let me not know it. Like,
and anything can happen when you're in line. So
I'll do.
come.
I'm taking the line. That's my final answer. I'm
no,
taking the line.
you can watch me pee. I don't care.
They need to be. Can they look over the stall every time with
I
her?
don't care.
I want them to look like around a door because it's just creepy. I want that to happen for
fine.
her. Wizard, can you make that happen?
But it would be worse in the eyes.
No,
I
look
would
her in the eyes, but
rather-
I need them to look around something because
I
there's something
would
creepy
rather-
about looking around something.
Nope. Because I know you're coming.
I know you're coming, but
so
it's
not
so
creepy. It's not creepy if I know you're coming. So here's the thing: if I
It's
am
creepy
fully,
just staring.
just staring.
I am fully aware of the fact that you're there. It ain't creepy. I know you're coming.
Yo, I'm like this.
It is what it is. I would rather stare than touch a stranger.
Old guys, only old guys though.
But it's not old
No,
guys.
only old guys.
You can't just
Add
go
that.
old.
Yo, Wizard, add that. Yo, I just need only old guys.
It is what it
like
is.
this.
It's somebody different every time.
Yeah.
I can't touch a
So
stranger.
it could be an old bully.
I have one for you for next week. I need there to be something about like an old guy who's wrinkly skinned, 65, then did meth and alcohol for a long time, and he's wearing nothing but like dirty Timbs.
Why does it have
Butt
to
neck,
be so
but look,
extreme?
butt naked Timbs and a trench coat, a dirty trench coat, nothing else. There has to be
Why?
something with that. I don't know. I just thought about
That
I'll
it.
is
find something with that.
So extreme.
Okay, second question.
So wild.
Wear the same pair of socks for an entire year without washing them.
That's disgusting.
I'm picking whatever is opposite of that. Okay.
Or have the theft alarm go off every time you leave a store, no matter where you go, no matter what house you go out of, the alarm goes off everywhere you're at.
That's
So
I'll
you
take
walk
that
out.
crazy.
because I'm
Like
probably gonna get a lot more. I'm probably gonna get a lot of settlements and shit like
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
People gonna be grabbing me.
Yeah,
I'm
I'm
like,
cool.
I ain't even steal nothing.
I'm cool,
pimp.
yeah. We make it like-
run
we have
that,
to
Well,
make
we're
run
in
that.
Washington, so you can walk out the store a lot of times and they won't do
Yeah,
They
nobody
won't
doing
do
nothing.
nothing, but still, if they grab you, then
Niggas like, we
run
don't
me
even
that-
got
run
an
me that
alarm.
check. Run me that check.
You be going around
Yeah.
with Panera Bread. Niggas ain't got an alarm.
It's
and
funny
someone
because I was, like, I got a homie and he used to be I called him a meter maid, but he used to check like people's energy.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You know, and they don't do it like, you know what I'm saying. They're not like the company come knock on your door and do it. They just check. They just come up and check.
Yeah.
And sometimes it could be on like the other side of the fence.
Yeah.
He was like, he got bit by 3 dogs.
Dang.
Yeah, I was like, did you press charges on it? He's like, nah. I was like, oh, you better than me. Because I'd have been walking around with court papers talking about I sue everybody whose dog who bite me. You better hold your
Right.
mother.
You can
But how can you do so? If I have a beware of dog sign on my fence, and you come in anyway, and I didn't know that you were coming, and you get bit by the dog, that's no longer my fault.
if I work for the energy company and my job is to surveil that, he was like, people actually do sick their dogs on the meter people too.
Wait, you see him?
No, I was just with him. I was just with him this weekend.
I think that's a settled.
He's a little ass Asian dude.
That's probably type of settlement thing where like
It is something. It is not. It's not like.
you
Some
can't
are,
get a whole
my
lot.
dog is literally
but-
doing exactly what I feed him
But
for.
you don't have to get it. You don't have to do a whole lot. And you don't have
No,
to get a whole
bruh, my
lot.
dog is
just-
doing exactly
I just
what
need
I'm
Called
to know it
DIY
costs, you know what I'm
reparations.
saying?
I just need my bag.
I just need to know it
Y'all
costs.
don't know where-
Hey, check
It's like,
out.
yeah.
Feeding
We're
him.
going to
Hey,
Vegas, so I need like
hey.
3 dog bites. I need like 3
Hey,
sets.
hey, chase out.
Call it or not.
But I
Let
think
your dog know.
but I think
Until
if,
let
like-
your dog know you're
Call
running the
LAI.
checkup.
Can I
But I
get
think it's
you with me?
different.
I'll run
it's
that.
different if there's a sign that says "Beware of dog."
Yeah.
Because I think there's also a part where those things have to be
In a place where,
accessible.
for servicing.
So if you put a big fence around your whole yard, you're kind of it's kind of like you're violating one of the parts of, hey, they got to get to that meter.
Yes, but and also we could take it to a darker way. In some places, a person, you can have a no trespassing sign up,
Yep.
cameras and all that. Somebody can break into your house, break their leg, they may go to jail, but they can also sue you for hurting themselves on your property.
Yeah, I forget
That's
what.
I heard about that
Some people have
before.
done it. Yeah,
I wish I wondered, like, one
No.
of these days we have to break apart one of those cases, because to me, I always thought that was like, yo, that's wild.
But
Not you
it's
breaking into
true.
my house.
And
Yeah.
people get settlements for that. And so it's like,
because
Can
they'll
you
sue the
imagine?
insurance
yeah,
a lot of times.
and so it's like
Because if Marv did it, Marv could sue the insurance. If something happened to
Yeah,
Marv,
like the renter's insurance or whatever the case. Yeah, yeah.
He could sue every insurance that bit him. Like, hey, man, the dog bit me. I don't
Yeah.
care what.
I'm just here
He wasn't
doing
even
my
supposed to
job.
have him
Yeah.
here. The dogs
Yeah.
were only supposed to be
I'm
under
not-
25
I'm here
pounds.
doing my job.
Yeah.
This is what I'm supposed to be doing. Yada yada yada.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah, with the meter maid
Yeah.
thing.
Paul
yeah.
L and I.
But I wonder if.
Nah, I'm gonna get a
It
bigger
wouldn't be-
bag
it
if I
wouldn't
was
be-
named.
it wouldn't be
Oh,
all
nah.
night because usually those things end up falling on the property owner.
Property, yeah.
I
That's
wonder if
right.
Mailman can sue.
Mailman, I think they might be
They
able to.
definitely, I believe.
I
they
feel
can.
like they can.
That's wild.
Because most of the time they don't get bit going into.
They get bit going out
They get bit going
Yeah.
out, or they get bit
around the
yeah,
property. Yeah.
yeah.
I know a couple of people. I mean, of course, they're like stand up. I wouldn't even call them stand up, but just like if I was, I'd be trying to hit every lick, like legally, but
That's
I'd be trying to
wild.
hit.
Oh, I'm telling you,
every
I'll be
lick.
My
telling
dog
people.
did what I fed him to do.
God bless you, and you have to
That's
go take that out.
wild. No,
So
no,
I would
no,
go
I'm finding a way to fight that. That's
No, go ahead and fight it. I'm gonna be in Judge
You
Judy's
can-
court.
I'm telling them, I'm like, stop it for your
Don't
for your
idiot.
dog. Buy me some gold ones.
That's wild.
He's out here trying to function.
Like, keep it up.
Keep it up.
About to get
And
a
some
bit.
new J's coming out. You know what I'm saying?
J's.
Wild.
About to get a
J's
bit.
coming out. You better
Yeah,
hold,
I'm
keep your
gonna
dog
get
back.
the
You know
whole
what I'm saying? You
collection.
might buy me them.
And the
you know
Team Jordans.
what I'm saying?
About to
I don't
get
even
a
like
Bentley. We go to this first topic. I threw in there on the thread the California
shit was
Police
wild,
Union. The police union director arrested on charges of trafficking fentanyl.
That Fetty Wap. Ooh.
I don't.
It doesn't surprise me. Can I say that first?
Is this an episode of The Wire? Like, what is this? Power? Like, what kind of cricket cup?
What was it? Not Crooks and Castles. What's the other one that they did? What's the movie? The
I
movie.
don't know.
I just want to see.
This was
I-
Training
I-
Day?
Like, what?
I just want to know if they're going to apply pressure to somebody else because obviously she didn't act alone.
Right, correct.
That's what I was thinking. Like, okay,
You know,
the
like,
story
so
was
are you going to
That's a
just
good
are you going to
question.
hide it?
She's-
Is she the fall person?
she's
Yeah.
the executive
Yeah.
director of the police union in California. She faces federal charges for importing drugs from overseas and distributing them throughout the country.
Yeah,
The country?
The country?
yeah.
That
It-
means she
it
was
was
not working alone.
They be putting sauce on stuff. So really, was it in the country or did it just make it across? Like she?
Just the state that she was in.
No, but here's the thing.
Yeah.
It only has to be one state. It only has to be more than one state for you to say, for them to say you were trafficking.
No, I understand because sometimes they'll do like I was listening to something today and it was talking about like let's say I didn't steal $1 million, but I attempted to, so it was intended loss kind of deal. So I just wonder with this situation, but I'm like, bro, like you're getting your little cop check. Let's say you stole some out of the evidence room, some Fetty Wap, and then like you passed it to like a young person just doing some regular corruption type stuff.
But I don't think this. I don't think this stuff is for money.
You think this is all some gang stuff, like police gang stuff?
No. I think it's like narrative. Like, so think about it. So before fentanyl became popular, what became popular for that? Like safe injection sites.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Some places like Oregon.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just allowing a lot of drugs to become
personal use.
recreational,
Yeah,
for
personal use is
and
decriminalized.
things
Yeah.
like that, right? And one thing that a lot of people do associate to like a lot of drug use is crime too.
Yeah.
Right. And so with to have somebody part of the police union to be a part of that, right? Fentanyl is not just become a epidemic; it's killing people, right? And so it kind of like dilutes the connection between crime and drug uses because it's getting rid of the drug addicts because people aren't surviving off of fentanyl. People are literally losing their lives. There are some people who have
The tides
mutated to be able to
to
deal with it.
The tides are changing because I think people know that it's now present. Because at one point, so fentanyl's existed for a long time. So what used to happen was someone's like, Fentanyl. This kind of acts like heroin or other,
But it was used in hospitals.
But then what would happen? No, it was used in hospitals. But what happened was so once it became available in this form, because every like 7 to 8 years, what would happen is someone would cut something with fentanyl. But mind you, drug dealers don't have any quality control. So what would happen is you would get like 80 overdoses at one time.
Yeah.
So then every 8 years that would happen because people thought that they discovered something new. But now fentanyl, okay, well, instead of me having a $200 a day habit, I now can have a $60 a day habit because I have fentanyl. And so now with that being the case and it becoming something like you said, the police officer, like you said, on some open drug market type thing or some other whatever like that, she's over here I can get the Fetty Wap from Alibaba or, whatever the case may be. And I can...
You can get it synthetic.
Yeah.
So it... man-made, you can get it a lot cheaper. You can find it cheaper, especially if they know.
And I don't have to go through all the supply chains. Yeah.
I understand
It's just interesting.
Money. I just don't think I just don't believe that it's money driven. I mean, and some things, everything isn't money driven. Some things are narrative driven, right? And I mean, and I
understand. I get what you're saying.
Jails are becoming overpopulated with drug addicts, right? And there's this gray area between where to put them. If they're based on if they're addicts, because of the type of crimes that they commit, usually are petty, depending on how strung out they are, right? And so you have this opportunity to kind of erase that, and it looks like, for me, people like that being involved is bigger than money.
What do you think the play is there then, though? If you think it's more political in capacity, what do you think the play is in
well, you have I would guess she's probably conservative, right? I would guess. I'm not 100% sure, right? So I would guess she's probably conservative. And people think that liberals are maybe becoming too lenient on drug dealers, right? Yeah. And if everything is pointing towards more leniency on that, and we're looking at drug addicts as a correlation to mental health, right? Everything's going to become more lenient. So instead, you just you look at the numbers, you see what creates the overdoses, what tips the scale, what creates more fatalities, right? And you just lean more in that direction. I mean, sometimes we used to say that, police shooting unarmed black men was a conspiracy in this country, and people used to say, well, there's not just cops out there that will shoot black men with them, and we start to see it on a regular, and that this is almost a practice.
So do you think do you think this is more of a defund the police play, you think, in this particular case, or do you think it's more
a defund the police play? This is why we should not have leniency. Okay.
I see what you're saying.
So you create the bad guy. Yeah. So, you guys are being lenient, but, safe injection sites, they think, well, that cuts down on overdoses, that all these different things, right? Now people are able to manage their drug addictions, right? Instead, somebody's there saying, well, we're not doing anything about the addict part. Yeah. We're just saying it's okay for you to be an addict. So how do you make a war on drugs again? How do you make people become adamant about getting drugs off the street and making sure that it's not all right? Yeah. You create more fatalities because the addict part is not doing it, right? Seeing people,
or even further. So you're saying that even
seeing
maybe
the tent cities and seeing people using and all is not doing it.
But now you're saying that you're even bringing in the peacemakers.
Celebrities are dying.
Yeah, the peacemakers are even participating now because the temptation is so big.
But it's never that. No, the celebrities are dying. We're getting autopsies and saying that they were using drugs cut with fentanyl. Yeah. I mean, and it's going on. Fentanyl is being tied to a lot of overdoses. Yeah. Almost every single one. Yeah. We look at it and we say, and next thing you know, autopsy, there was cocaine cut by fentanyl. This cut by fentanyl,
which is wild.
Plus, it's easy to move. It don't take a lot to kill somebody. I think if that is I could see that being something that is done, because if you're pointing to, hey, the people who are on drugs who get it real easy, hey, also we found somebody on the police side who was
This is getting out of hand. So now we really got to double down on
who was moving it pretty easily under the cops in the cop's house.
Yeah.
Like we found where it's going, but also we found who kind of was bringing a little bit in here and there.
But if you know she was doing it, you know who she was connected
Exactly.
to. So why aren't we talking about those people too? It's because somebody has to take the fall for it to become that high alert, right?
Yeah.
Because now if law enforcement's dealing, oh, this is very serious.
Yeah, because you watch it, it's kind of like a slap in the face. If somebody in their office was a part of like the investigation, it's like, wait, hold on, somebody around the corner from your desk was dealing.
Just gave me an A.
Yeah. Like Judy from the fourth floor.
Judy just gave you a hit.
No.
But
She's at the pier. She's at the pier shipping cargo.
She out here moving weight.
She probably. You're right. You're right in the fact that she could be the one that they were like, hey.
That's wild. My PO's out here like, yo, my nigga, yo, whatever you need, I got you.
Make sure this piss go clean. But
don't even worry about the piss. I got a nigga who can fix that right.
But yeah,
I got the quick fix for you.
That's crazy.
But they got somebody. They probably was like, hey, we could give her up. But there's a couple other people we can't say nothing that we got until we get the next couple people up. Then we could drop dime on them too.
Yo, this is a joke, yo. This is crazy. Oh man, that's great. No, it's not great, but it's crazy. That's wild.
It's crazy.
Yeah, just out here like, yo, is anything clean? Nope.
No, it's not.
It's not. Yeah. Got your PO out here just asking you like, yo, don't even worry about that. I got you. Don't worry about that methadone.
Don't worry about that.
I got that real.
You blew up that house. Don't worry about that.
Don't worry about that. I got something for you. Whatever like that. If you could move this, maybe we can get in cahoots. Niggas is wearing Hawaiian shirts.
Everybody Walter White now.
Exactly. Oh man.
But it says she was moving. She was between 2019 and January 2023.
I mean, think about it. When is this became big?
The last couple of years, yeah. Pandemic.
Dang, she was moving.
I just think it was more about
what's her
setting
name?
the tone.
It's basic name too.
They've been talking about Law and Order.
Joanne Marianne Segovia.
She sounds like a drug dealer.
Yo.
Sokovia. You know what I'm saying?
Funny.
Part of the Sokovia family.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Allegedly.
You guys watch that show Weeds?
I did. I seen
It was
pictures. I
funny
seen
because
pictures.
she looks like a mom of like Weeds.
Yeah.
Let's let us finish the cop.
True.
Because it's like she just looks like just this
I
random.
actually thought she like Miss Doubtfire.
I mean, it just reminds me.
Really?
Like,
I haven't seen
I'm
a
not
picture
saying
of her
she's like a
here.
chick. I'm just saying it just reminds me of Weeds. It's just the one person you wouldn't expect. She doesn't even look like somebody you would expect. It just reminded me of Weeds. I don't know.
Weeds?
Don't ever
Yeah,
doubt that she got
That's
fired.
She looks, but you wouldn't
Yo,
expect her. Just like the
listen,
mom on Weeds. You
listen,
never
listen,
expected
listen.
it was her.
Yeah,
who was running
listen.
this whole,
When the rapper's
marijuana
get a hold of
empire.
this story, it's gonna be wild.
Wild.
I'm moving weight like Joanne.
I don't got it.
Oh man,
What's
she
the
don't
next
show.
topic?
She don't show.
But
Sam.
Weeds, that was a good show, except for like she got out of every situation by just having sex with the drug dealer.
I mean,
Terrible. I didn't even see it. I didn't even see that part. But she out here just popping up for a goon.
I mean,
That's all she did.
I mean,
you
that's pretty much the expectation.
This
we
had
made
to be
for
before
women,
the
right?
Me Too movement, right?
Vagina, yeah.
This was before the Me Too movement.
Yeah,
Hopefully,
yeah.
okay. Hopefully.
Well, it's on. It was on a premium. It was on Showtime, so they. Could
Oh,
do
they
that.
can
do
do what they
that
want
on-
to do.
you
A
can do
chick
that on
could be
Showtime.
behind 3 months rent if she fine enough and want to sleep with her landlord.
Oh,
that
yeah,
3 months
it's like-
rent is
like-
gone.
Gone.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm saying?
it's like rent
It's
paid because
was
of
like-
services due.
It was like the chick on Flight. She was a drug addict, and he knew she was a drug addict, but he was like, "I'll still take some for the rent."
for the rent. Come on.
And then when she said no, he was like, "I can smell that stuff in there."
Listen, I call
Yeah.
the cops every
Yo, I was
time.
like, yo,
I'm serious though, for
Every
real though.
time.
Like, which one you
Go.
want to do?
$20,000. Give it twice one time.
Since-
I owe you $0.
Oh, you
That's the accounting is crazy. That's terrible.
Like wild, bro.
Yeah,
That's
that's terrible.
wild. Like who made these rules? You know what I'm saying?
You know, Julie said y'all made these rules.
No, I used to have,
man.
and rest in peace to my homie's dad. He used to tell me, he used to say, young man, I want you to tell you something too. Dick costs too, okay? Yeah. Dick costs too. You know what I'm saying? He said, don't be letting him out here fool you. Like that shit costs too. I said, you
That's
wild.
hilarious.
He used to be wild. Hey,
He
was
made sure the
wild,
currency
bro.
exchange
He
was
wild,
good.
bro. He was wild. He used to have me on my neck.
1 for 1.
Oh man, that's
He used to have
But
me on my neck.
The,
yeah. There is a lot of flooding the streets though. That's crazy. But yeah, we hear.
the next topic is your boy. I think we talked about it a little bit, but Donald Trump, he officially got indicted.
Wow.
He's straight.
Yeah.
He can find a tax. He can find a
Officially-
tax write-off for this.
And the arraignment,
I don't-
the arraignment is
Hilarious.
Tuesday.
Not a tax
Yeah.
write-off. That's
I just think
wild.
I just think this is just the beginning. Like
You're
I
funny.
think they're starting.
Oh,
I
man.
think they're starting to set a precedent
Yeah, because
to let him know that
up
he's
to like
he's
30
not
charges.
untouchable.
Yeah,
because he'll face this, and even if he gets past this, there's other stuff down the pipeline that he's gonna have to deal with.
Yeah,
this
'cause
is definitely an
the
example.
chick in Georgia.
Yeah.
She waiting. She hasn't charged him. They haven't charged him yet with like tampering and all that stuff. But I think that one's coming too.
Well, he still got an answer for his role in January 6th. He said there's like, stuff like that. You know.
Well, it's gonna be a minute.
Yeah.
It almost feels like being rich is almost a necessity because I was like, I thought being rich was just this whole fun experience. Like you almost have to be rich to make sure you can support yourself. And you just get to enjoy yourself off the fringe benefits. But I'm like, dang, these niggas is rich so they can pay mad lawyers so they can like account for their fun. And I'm just like, yo, this is stressful
But
on
that's
the low.
all. That's all he's done the past like years. Pay lawyers. Like that's all they're doing. He fundraises to pay lawyers.
Yeah. So who wants to be rich to live? Like,
And that's
you
what
know,
I'm saying. Like it almost seems like it's not even fun. It's like yo, like.
Unless you're a lawyer.
And even with the lawyers, like, because, you getting into stuff and you have to parlay and stuff like that because you pay. I've had family members where it'll be a situation where it's like, yo, $45,000, this go away. And it's kind of like, really?
Yeah.
What is it like? A man can inherit the whole world and lose his soul, or
On that
so
type of
it's
stuff. And it's just, to me, I'm like, I would rather not, like, I'm taking my ball and going home. I don't even want to play this game, you know?
Yeah.
It's like, I used to think that, like, sometimes being rich seemed like it was this thing, but it's like, no, to be honest, it would probably be easier to see the motives and intentions of the hearts of the individuals that you're dealing with if you don't show that you have it.
True.
Yeah, it's just a weird dichotomy.
It's crazy that like people can't see the grift whenever it's like, oh, I gotta raise this money. Like I honestly was thinking about this the other day. If they didn't have to spend money on his lawyer stuff, the Republicans would have a ton of money just to do whatever, just to wreak havoc in the country, to do whatever in every election because they have this war chest. But
yeah, but I don't think these. I think some of these things are becoming personal. So he can't spend.
But I think
their
that's
money
that's
on
why he
these.
declared that he's gonna run again because everything
Yeah,
that happens.
he needs to be able. He
gotta make it.
So this is what happened. When he ran the first time, what he was saying, he didn't need people to fund his campaign because he had the money. But now his money's tied up because he's fighting all these legal battles. So now he has to.
On top of the economy tanking too, so your real estate is like you don't got as much equity.
Now he has to campaign to get funds to be able to run again, and so that's why why he's doing what he's doing now.
You can't just use you can't use campaign funds
for
stuff unless it happens during your
because that's what the whole thing with the Stormy Daniels thing was. Well, originally what they were trying to figure out is if he used campaign funds to pay her.
Yeah.
But they realized that what he did was he paid her with his own money. But what they're saying is by him paying her off and filing an NDA, that her withholding that information and him running from public office still influenced his campaign to where that's why they were able to file some charges against him.
All in all, the Republicans definitely got to be a little bit more savvy because the liberals the liberals is on they crap when it comes to like how they maneuver and stuff like that. So like, you Republicans, conservatives, whoever you call yourselves, like y'all got to be a little bit more on top of it because like.
Well, that's the thing. They are. So So the reason why you just said that liberals have to be more savvy about how they move.
Republicans, I'm saying.
But liberals have to too, because if you see how many situations that Democrats fight in certain courtrooms and lose, right? Yeah. Because one thing that the conservatives know is their way around the law. Right, they know the loopholes to jump through. They know how to tie you up in.
I agree. Yeah, 100%.
In court.
I agree with you, but at the same time, is that they know Republicans know their way around the law, but liberals tend to have more networking capacity, and that's a really one thing where it's like, Republicans, you could take a page out of their book, and liberals, y'all can just chill out sometimes because y'all be wild.
Well, I think they can. I think like Democrats and liberals. They don't have the foresight or like 20, 30 years down the line. It's more like
because they're still fighting the fight from 1984. Yeah. Like, no, seriously,
Facts,
so it's like they Republicans are looking on how to their own infrastructure, right? Yeah. And we're looking at
we still got to correct some stuff. Yeah,
they canceled government cheese. We worried about like that's our mindset. You know what I'm saying? Like, and so like you're saying, I think that what it is they have to become more aggressive. Liberals have to become more aggressive. Stop being kumbaya and flower hugging tree hippies. Like that's they just have to become more aggressive. This is an aggressive.
More aggressive move, 100%.
You know what I'm saying? And it starts a precedent of people becoming more aggressive and going after him because people haven't been aggressive in going after him. They fear him. And I tend to think that he got something on people. I tend to think that Trump is one of those dudes with a little black book, and he's threatening people behind the scenes. They're
definitely messy.
You come at me, I got something on you. I think it's more than that because even the Democrats, some people struggle
to say something about
to
them.
Be aggressive.
Yeah, true.
They go on the news medias. They spew their rhetoric about him, but when it comes to doing something about it, nobody actually does anything. And he knows just as much as anybody, as long as his name is being ran, he's fine. Yeah. You could talk about him all day, but now when people are taking action, that's different. And the reason he's scared is because he said what he said about being arrested. And what I really believe what he was trying to do was incite another riot. Yeah. I do believe he was trying to create another act of violence on something to get people to like create an uproar about him being arrested. Yeah. Why else would you? Nobody says, "Oh, I'm finna be arrested on Tuesday," and the police don't. The police ain't finna come tell you.
Especially,
hey, guess what, Mr. Trump? We're stopping by on Tuesday with the handcuffs.
Well, especially when you take
shout out! I'm about to be arrested.
Especially when you have to take yourself to the courthouse. Right. They're not sending people to come get you. You got to take yourself to the courthouse. So you telling like, hey man, they about to arrest me.
They about to get your boy.
Bro, you basically been subpoenaed. Yeah. That's it. Like you talking about, the paddy wagon's coming. You singing Akon. I'm locked up. They won't let me out. You know what I'm saying? Like,
I wouldn't put it past him if he put a cage on stage. If he came out in some orange. This is how they want me. This is how they want me. Y'all gonna let them take me?
I wouldn't put it past him either.
Y'all gonna let them take me? Y'all gonna let them take me? Like,
I'm the last white hope.
He's wild. He believe it.
He believes it.
Oh man.
He believe
this stuff be mad.
I think also
I don't think he believes it. I think all right. So check this out, and I've learned this, right?
Wow.
And this is a part of white fear. Right. Have you ever noticed like Caitlin Clark? Mm-hmm. No. Time out. I'm about to tell you right now. Like this is some real stuff.
Yeah.
So when you're talking about a sport on like a national level, it's usually dominated by black talented people. Whenever there is a Luka Doncic, Caitlin Clark, like
extra sauce on
it's, because it's like, oh, they're dominated in this arena where all these black people usually dominate. They're like the minority in that area. And so, like we were talking earlier, it's okay for Caitlyn to gloat. And then the black chicks gloat in her face, and it's classless. Yep. Because they're saying you guys already dominate.
Yeah.
Right. Let her get her shine. And so it's the same thing. What he does is, I honestly don't believe he's racist. I really don't. And this is why. Because before he became president, he was kicking it with the niggas. Like, let's be real. All these rappers was at these parties with him. They're popping champagne. They quoted Donald Trump so many times. They were in these circles. I don't believe he has the level of hate.
As Jay-Z said, what he said is, my religion is to be first like church with Jesus peace. That's how he moves.
But what he realized was the minority in the white community, which was redneck motherfuckers. That's what and he knew that if he could get them behind the suited white folks, that we had a problem on our hands. And that's what he did. Because you seen everybody from one-tooth hillbilly to the most suited and booted twisting and tying themselves to back that man, even when he spewed rhetoric. Because he was what he was. We just had Obama, who wowed the world as a black man, and everybody was like,
he was the manifestation of their pent up
anger against Obama.
Anger, angst, anything
against
word,
the country. Yes, for allowing a black man to be president.
Yeah, and for allowing anything else like
why would I vote for Joe? To them, in their mind, why would I vote for Joe? Why would I vote for Bernie, Hillary? They all work for that black man. No. This dude is saying he ain't even from here.
Yep. And
calling out his birth certificate.
And when he was when he was going against the Republicans, he was talking about them like, y'all let all this stuff happen. Because I'm different.
Yeah.
I'm different. You need some different blood. Yeah. Not knowing.
Do we understand how like beautiful, like, in a way it was really like, I literally laughed. I was in awe. I was like, how a person with cake, different level of cake, can come here in front of people who are in West Virginia, who can barely afford Medicaid. Like Medicaid's free, but you can barely afford to get care under Medicaid. And how he gave them a voice. That's how desperate people were. Yep. And he was able to take advantage of that. And it's just so interesting to me.
He's Clayton Bigsby.
And not,
100%.
From Dave Chappelle and the KKK, the black KKK.
And not do anything for them.
Yeah, but you're just happy that someone talked to you. Mm-hmm. That's wild to me.
Yeah, or talked like you.
Talk like you, talk to you, even have any type of
you became the most famous you've ever been in your life.
Crazy.
Like, we could talk about all
people just want to be seen. It's crazy.
I'm talking about The Apprentice. Yeah. Everything he's ever done, he's topped it in the past 8 years.
Yeah, 100%.
Like, he's the most known, most talked about being, and probably will be for a very long time. We've seen Obama in that office and handle it with grace, and his family do an amazing job, and we honor them and commend them, and yet he is still more polarizing than that.
Even him. Yeah.
Somebody who actually did the job the way it was supposed to be done, somebody we were hoping to be able to, there's a lot of things that people wanted him to do and that he didn't do.
And then left a time release capsule on some of the economic stuff that we're actually experiencing now when it comes to China, which is a whole nother realm of things, because people really didn't talk about that the first term. But I think if he ends up winning, or if he ends up like being just a major figure in this next capacity, it's going to be really interesting, because he's been talking about this China stuff. I know I'm not sure if we had put this on the docket, but
he get in there. He banning TikTok.
Yeah.
But
No. But I'm saying, like,
but I'm saying,
to even, because he was the one who talked about it first.
That was part of his.
It was a very small thing. No one ever focused on it, but it was like he came out of, like, no matter what you want to say about him, when it comes to finance, when it comes to loopholes, when it comes to like economics, the man's second to none. And to be able to do that in a time and almost plant that seed that was going to come in, it's coming to fruition right now. Because like right now, people are talking about like economics is like the huge thing. We're losing all these jobs because the interest rates are crazy, and so you have to like lose jobs in order for the interest rates to get back there. And then China's talking about, we're going to do all this trade and we're not doing it in the petrodollar. It's like, for him to come at that level. And he did that a couple years ago. And I'm like, y'all better watch out for what he's doing right now, because this is going to be something that's very prominent coming forward. It was like, man.
I don't know if it's, I felt like he might have talked to China, and China was like, they were in the early stages of saying, hey, we about to replace the dollar and deal with some other countries while replacing the dollar. It's going to come out in a couple years. And he probably got the jump on the conversation.
Well, this thing, if I knew, of course he knew that this was going to be the thing, but that's going to be another sticking point. So on top of all the nonsense that's happening now, it's like for that to be a point where it's like we're getting down to the point where I was watching a TikTok video today, and a girl was out here trying to pop it for a real one. It was like $60. And I was like, bro, we down bad. Like Amazon is losing another 9,000 jobs here. Like every day you're hearing about like multiple thousands of jobs being lost and the economy getting worse and worse, and everybody's going to be down bad. I said when you see people together, I said this love is brought to you by inflation. And it's like crazy. We're getting to that point. And guess what? One of the things he was talking about like exchanging. He was talking about like a lot of the Asian countries are actually dropping their currency levels to improve their export abilities. And he was talking about that like 6-7 years ago. And so it's just crazy to see like,
but he also put them tariffs on them.
No, but in the process,
he made it extremely hard for people to export.
He did that, but he did that because of what he understood. It's like, I see what you're doing.
But he hurt our economy here.
No. He did. No, the thing, I understand that, but as far as like, but imagine now having a second talking point where, you guys are trying to put this sauce on me right now, but I told y'all already that China was trying to do this. This is why I put the tariffs on them. Now, I told y'all about this, but look, y'all wanted to be over here doing whatever you want to do, and now guess what? You guys is losing money. The inflation rate's crazy right now. But do what you want to do. That's cool. So he has another talking point.
But just like I was able to say that, there's somebody out there that could say, but you hurt America because we weren't able to produce cars because the chips, the tech companies have to lay people off because we couldn't make the products because
maybe they can spend it that way, but it's just going to be interesting to see.
Because you boosted the tariffs, so we couldn't even get the product in to be able to do this. So it slowed down, and then in the middle of the pandemic, and then they'll tie that into him. He has a hole to build in, and now he has criminal cases on him. Yeah. He's definitely not going to be elected again.
I don't think he's been elected again, but as far as like, I can still see him being a prominent figure in the landscape in terms of with the talking points.
What's going to happen is Rob DeSantis is going to become that.
No,
figure
he's going
because
to,
he talks. He talks a parallel rhetoric towards Trump, as from, but not.
They were building him up from the thing. So I agree.
Off the cliff, right?
Yeah.
And so some people in the conservative party are going to say Rob DeSantis is still on that mission, but he is a little more sane than Trump.
No. And this thing, I agree with you, but I'm saying, but those talking points that he had presented here, that's going to be something that's really prominent that nobody ever really talked about.
Yeah, but it's also the boy who cried spilled milk, or I mean the boy who cried wolf, because at the same time, everybody in the world see that this problem that he's talking about is also a problem that we watched him create. Yeah. So you can't we'll see. I mean,
he created a lot of problems here too, because a lot of the past 3 or 4 derailments, the train derailments, all were part and parcel to stuff that he did. And stuff that he set up.
We'll see how, because people are pretty dumb. So we'll see how it works out.
But about Ron DeSantis, I don't know if he gets in the fight right now because it's so messy. And like, when's the next election? Is it 24? Is it end of 24 or end 25?
No, they're going to start in the next 2 months.
I'm going to tell you what the biggest thing about conservatorship is. What their biggest thing is right now is conserving the idea of white purity. They're like, seriously, right? And so that's why Donald Trump was able to get so many people to come out, because it was like, yeah, it was almost more of, it was like a white supremacy, a resurfacing of white supremacy on the mainstream. It still was on like it still had an underturbulence to it, but now it's out and about because he was able to say the rhetoric that he was able to say on TV. Yeah. The people were empowered to come out and show themselves, right? It's getting to a point to where the Republic or the far conservatives are saying this is becoming way too much of a distraction too, because now you have January 6th. You have all these court hearings that Trump is doing. Yet you have DeSantis in Florida attacking CRT and pretty much saying it's not okay to make white kids feel bad about America and all this type of stuff. And conservatives are boosting him up. If you listen to I listen to conservative networks, they are starting to champion DeSantis names in the conversations, because Trump is becoming a distraction from strengthening the Republican Party. He's actually becoming the person who's fracturing the Republican Party. And so they need somebody who's going to bring it together. And Rob DeSantis is saying the stuff that they want him to say.
And they've been planting. Listen, they've been planting that. But I'm saying is that he's going to put his mark on him. I believe he's going to say, "This is the guy that you should choose." And once he says that, that's going to be almost on some kingmaker type stuff.
You talking about DeSantis?
Yeah, I think that's. I think Trump will say that with DeSantis is like, he's it, and I think Republicans, they end up taking it.
No, Trump's not going to say he's not
going to say it. No,
because he
ain't going to say it out straight like that. But he's going to support.
He's going to take everybody down with him.
Most people,
I don't think so.
Most guys who's been presidents and have lost the election prior to them being president have just called it what it is. He's on a vendetta. Yeah. He's out to prove a point. And so backing somebody else from the Republican Party, you see he'll throw somebody under the bus fast.
He was throwing DeSantis under the bus last year.
He'll throw somebody under the bus.
In 2 months, somebody got to come up from the Republican Party to do that.
Check out.
He's going to say something good about him. Yeah.
The loyalty to the Republican Party is not Donald Trump's thing.
Oh, no, it's not even about loyalty.
Their loyalty to him is because he gets votes.
And this is what I'm saying. No, I 100% agree with you.
Right? Yeah. That's it.
I don't.
But what I'm saying is, Rob DeSantis can get those same votes, and he's more clean cut than said. He's younger than Trump. He can reign. He can do a lot. He can be a lot more effective than a Donald Trump, and people are starting to see that of looking at what he's doing in Florida. The things that he's doing in Florida is showing that Donald Trump wasn't able to show that before he ran for president. All we knew is that he had a lot of money and he had TV shows and all this other stuff. He ran hotels and he ran businesses. No. Rob DeSantis is showing I can effectively run government and be that guy.
No, I 100% agree with you.
No, I'm less problematic. And the conservatorship is going to get behind that because it's going to bring them back to what being part of the Republican Party is about.
They still need an extra.
But I still think that Trump doesn't go down without a fight. And he doesn't go down without bringing enough things. I think they lose in 2024 only because.
Oh, he's finna tank it.
Only because he tanks it in, like, when you know how they say crabs in the barrel. Yeah, that whole adage. He's gonna be like, "Oh no, you're not gonna go above me." Because to him, that's more embarrassing to lose to Biden and then to not even make it to the big game. Oh no. No, even if he lost to Biden the second time, he can still say they cheated me. I do all things, but to not even make it past the primary.
No, he make it past the primary.
I mean,
my
but he
thing is,
knows
like,
a
but
lot of
he's-
stuff. He knows a lot.
Yeah. So that's why I
if
say
it's DeSantis,
no.
I don't like he's
Okay.
saying. I don't know if it's
Okay.
DeSantis. I don't know if he makes it past the primary.
No. He
I
makes
don't-
it
I
past.
think-
No, thing.
I don't think
he makes it past the primary.
I don't think he
Then
makes
he
it past
gives his
DeSantis,
blessing
but I
because
think
you know
he
that's
does.
how it always works.
I think he does. I don't think he. Nope. I don't think.
I think he gives his blessing.
I don't believe he's not that guy.
He's not.
He's not going to give like an ultimate blessing. It's going to be a side
No.
blessing. I think that's what's going to happen.
He's
He
going
needs.
to-
DeSantis
No.
almost needs it.
Bro,
It's true.
Bro,
That's
He
true.
needs it. That's what I'm saying. What else?
talking about
Who
the
else is
person-
going to get from?
We're talking about the person who lost a job and said, you know what? I'm taking some of this stuff with me.
I'm taking the statues with me. I'm taking the paperwork with me.
No,
I'm
he
ta-
didn't. There's usually
Didn't even go
there's
that
usually a
direction.
transfer of power.
Didn't even go.
Yep.
No.
He didn't honor that.
No,
He is-
especially yeah.
So what
I
you're,
respect
really-
it.
what
Yeah.
you're saying is out of character
No,
for that. It's out of character for that man.
if I say this, let's say
No,
Trey.
no, time out.
No, real quick. So if I say I don't f with Trey at all. I don't even like ranch, right? I don't like French dressing. I don't
Wait,
like
watch
none of the dressing, right?
Watch it.
But then I
Watch it.
so now
Wow.
I go here, but I'm like, I really don't want them to win. I don't even say anything for real about him. It's like, but we just need some more conservative values. I'm not gonna say anything. That can be enough support where like people are like, dang, well you're not in there, so I guess I gotta go over there. I don't think he's gonna say it in some like, I give him my blessing. It's not gonna be nice at all. I don't think it's gonna be nice, but it's definitely gonna be something where Rob DeSantis he gets in.
No, I guarantee this is what
Yeah.
Donald Trump's going to be like. The Republican Party's doomed.
Yep.
Okay.
No, you've led somebody. You guys have went back to these regular politicians. They're going to take you back to. It's just like Hillary Clinton
Yeah.
and Benghazi
'Cause he
and
is-
all this type of stuff.
He is polished.
And
He is polished.
And so
He
that,
could go
Yeah,
ahead.
and
he
so
was-
that's what his theme has always been. And so he's not a great sportsman. He's
No.
a sore loser.
No.
And he's shown that every single way. So he's not going to, it don't matter if you're a Republican, Democrat, if you are against him, we've seen him put people's head on the chopping block.
Yeah.
So if somebody is able to get he's done made the Republican Party, he's become like a rock star of the Republican Party.
Yeah.
And if people can take if somebody can come and take his fan base, he's not going to be happy about this.
No, he
because
won't.
that's the
100%.
biggest fan
I agree with you.
base he's ever had in his life.
Yeah.
And so he's not going to be happy about that. I don't see him saying, and if he does, the only reason why he does is because he's going to realize that he has become so toxic that putting his name next to somebody may tank them too. That's the only reason why I see him saying Rob DeSantis could be.
And that's what I'm saying.
The only reason.
And that's what I'm saying is
Yeah.
that Rob DeSantis, he needs the extra couple votes because let's keep it a bean. As much stuff is happening in Washington, California, Oregon, and all these places that have like quite a bit of electoral college votes, it's going to be hard.
It's still the same states that you got to win.
No. Same states, but then
No.
a lot of states have transferred.
Yes.
Texas?
Yes, but
Cool.
we're not talking
So,
about
yeah,
him. We're not talking about
yeah,
Rob
yeah.
DeSantis winning the presidency. We're talking about him winning the Republican, winning the.
So then I have another question.
Getting the ticket from the Republicans to run for presidency.
He got that already.
No,
It's in
no,
my brain.
but if
Yeah.
that's the case, then
Yeah.
Trump's. That's what we're saying. Trump is not going to be running against a panel of Democrats. He's going to
No.
be running against a panel
No,
of
of
Republicans.
Okay.
And so
then
he
now the
has
question-
to, in order for him to even be in the consider for Trump presidency,
Yeah.
he has to beat out Rob DeSantis. And what I'm telling you, he's not
going to. I agree with you.
That's it.
Now the question I have is, Rob DeSantis win?
No, I don't know. No. I don't think the Republicans are going to win the seat. I don't believe they'll win the presidency.
I low key.
All I'm saying
yeah,
is
that's gonna be
that
interesting.
Trump is running again, and his battle is going to be
I
DeSantis.
100%
and
agree.
what DeSantis has proven
But he dog walks.
is that he's a
I agree with
cleaner
you.
cut version
Yeah.
of Trump.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they win the presidency because right now they have control of the house.
Yeah.
If nothing gets done,
Yeah.
you can easily point and say, hey, you guys had what you wanted. You guys haven't done absolutely nothing.
Yeah.
in addition to a lot of your people were doing dumb stuff.
Mhm.
Your boy got arraigned.
Mhm.
You were in your you still haven't figured out what's going on with the country, and the country is not getting better.
COVID response.
Yeah.
So who do we think, before we get to the next topic? Who do we think, or maybe this will be a topic for another time? Who do we think Democratic Party wins?
No, it's gonna be Biden. I think he still runs again.
I think Biden dies before then.
Hilarious.
You want me to tell you something? No, I ain't. You
The
want me to
race
tell
is
you
gonna
something?
invigorate him.
I am not far from you, because
This nigga.
He looked like he looked like
go.
I mean, he looked like he close to the edge, bro. He do.
Is. I don't
And
think he makes
for
it
them
that
both
long.
to be not that far apart in age.
But here's the thing.
You would think that Joe Biden's 10 years older than Donald Trump, and he's not.
Well, but Biden doesn't wear any makeup. I think that's
I
the
don't
thing.
care. I don't care about what
Mentally,
it.
cognitively.
He walks around.
Cognitively.
He walks. He almost
He
walks around like he need a walker.
he shook Casper's hand 5 or 6 times. I can show you YouTube videos.
He walks,
Terrible.
bro. He walks like his knees are gone.
I mean, that's true.
I
I
mean,
think Trump is a little bit.
You listen
Trump
to him
is a-
talk. He sound like a senile grandpa.
But I think
You know what I'm
that's,
saying?
Yeah, he be getting like word
here's the
salad.
thing, that's the one. I'm like, they're like 3 or 4 years apart. So if we're gonna say we've seen Trump's mental state, we haven't. Biden.
Trump is still
Yes,
still
but
with
when
it,
he
though.
talks, he sounds
He's with it.
clever. He sounds witty. He sounds like he still has his sound mind.
He can't be.
Even
He's not.
even with
He's
the
not the
rhetoric,
one.
even
There's
with
got to
the
be somebody
rhetoric.
else. So my
He's
thing is, who else?
And as strategic as he has been, you know he's in somewhat of a state of his right mind. When you do watch Joe Biden talk,
Bro.
it sounds like he has early onset dementia.
He
I don't know. I
does.
just think he's just old.
No, word salad, bro.
He's just super old.
It's word
Bro,
salad.
he be talking
like,
and he be
How old
like,
is he?
80.
most of these niggas are
79,
like 80,
yeah.
like
He's like
70, late
79,
70s or
he
early.
be talking and he'll be like drifting off, and
Yeah,
you're like,
he'll be like,
hey,
he'll be like, I had a pillow to eat last
hold on,
night,
talk about-
and I got a cup of alcohol, and that's why the American public should vote for China.
Yeah,
This that's
no, and he be
talking like that.
he be drifting off.
He be
like,
drifting off.
And
But I don't think it. I think he's still gonna try to run.
He
If he-
ain't
if
trying.
he-
He's
if-
not running. Yo, I'll
if
put
he
money on that,
doesn't-
bro.
if
he ain't running.
If he doesn't,
Camilla, who do you? Camilla,
she's not gonna run.
Who do you think then?
she's definitely gonna
Uh,
run. What are you talking about? She's
California-
definitely gonna run. I don't even
California,
know.
no,
Yeah.
California's governor, Newsom.
Newsom.
He's a rock star.
Gavin
Okay.
Newsom probably gonna run.
He
He's
can
a
probably
rock-
run. Okay,
he's a
I can
rock
see it.
star.
I was just saying,
Gavin
like,
Newsom
it's
is-
not
I-
Biden.
Actually,
though.
Or
Gavin, I
Buttigieg.
think I heard
Buttigieg.
Gavin Newsom. I heard
Buttigieg
gonna
should
run.
run?
Buttigieg.
Pete
Oh,
Pete
sorry, my
Buttigieg is getting more popular. I still don't think the country's ready for that.
That's true.
I do think that the country would elect a woman before they elected a gay man. That's just how I feel. And
That's fair.
and,
That's
and
fair.
so
That's
I'm not
fair.
saying that it's wrong. I'm not saying
I
no.
agree. I agree.
I'm not
I
saying
agree.
that anything against him. I actually think he's an amazing guy.
He is,
I do.
and
I just
and
think
he
that that's just the
goes-
views of, because the conservativeship, you know, like, and you see how big that they can be, and we have even some people on. You have some people on even the Democratic side and in the independent that are like, you know,
They're like,
that are
they're
against
like-
that lifestyle
they're like-
already.
They're
you
like,
know what I'm saying?
nah. They're like,
Yeah.
we'll they're like, we'll
Yeah.
agree with some stuff,
Yeah.
but
And they'll trust a heterosexual woman before they trust a homosexual man, and
Yeah.
that's just what it is. And within reality, let me just be 100% true. From what I've heard from like men who ran their businesses and stuff like that, they said that they actually trust homosexuals better with their.
Yo.
They said they don't steal. They manage
I don't
the
know why
money
that's
better.
funny.
And you would tell you
See,
what's so
here's the
funny.
thing.
So when I was a
those-
mover, I used to realize, like, when I used to move the people into, like, no, seriously, a lot of times when it was like rich, like
Yeah.
balling ass houses, it
Yeah.
was like a gay couple, and I used to be like, damn, how do y'all got all this money? You know what I'm saying? The main thing they used to say was, well, we don't got kids. That's the main thing that they would say.
That'll do it.
But then I thought about something. I was like, well, obviously, because of that, they understand the managing of it You know what I'm saying? So I think business wise, maybe.
Well, those
Maybe.
numbers are provable.
I know.
That homosexual couples make more money.
No, yeah. Are more fiscally responsible.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying with their money.
Is it about the point to prove, or being like I have to have an economic status?
It's almost like the black family. It's almost like Obama.
Yeah,
he had to be perfect.
I had to be dead nice. I got you.
Yeah,
okay.
we gotta have our money straight. We can't be a normal couple.
Yeah, we can't. Be
I also think that's kind of inflated.
And
I
to
think
about it, I think
a lot
y'all
of
typically are better with money than us, and so in a household where there's two men, when you guys are typically
Facts.
better than money,
that's 100%. Yeah,
and you guys are able to, especially if one of them happens to be a laborer and one of them is working in the office or whatever the case, which typically tends to be the case.
Unless it's like a
and then when you're dealing with gay women, you're dealing with one of them usually has kids, if not both of them. On top of the fact that we have horrible spending habits.
No, well, at least one of them does too, like because
one of them
so
has
then the
kids,
question,
if not both of them.
the question is this:
women are more enticed to shop, buy things.
Okay, so do we think homosexual male or a young woman or woman wins the presidency? Who wins first?
Well, I already told you what I believe. I just think because see, the thing is I think what a lot of people are going to struggle with is that they accepted something that they're morally against.
Yep.
And so that's why I believe it'd be easier for somebody to elect a heterosexual woman versus a homosexual male, because the way he lives in his personal life, they morally disagree because he lives
America
it out.
Likes to pretend to be progressive.
Exactly.
Yeah. So people like to pretend.
But the thing is that
so we'll talk progression, but then in my privacy of my voting booth, I'm going to vote according to my heart or what my actual.
I want to hear you say something.
It's kind of like think about the grandmother. Think about the grandmother who's seen. Think about the church raised grandmother, right? Who sees her grandchild with another woman. They ain't married. They live together. They had a baby. What she say? Y'all just shacking up.
Okay,
she ain't.
So let me ask the question. Let me ask you one more question. Give me this.
She struggles.
I get what you're saying.
She struggles.
So homosexual woman coming from homosexual woman country in general versus a homosexual man.
It's gonna be a man.
It's gonna be a man because it falls back on the.
You would rather. So you think the country would rather a homosexual man versus a homosexual woman?
Intersectionality, because I'll tell you right now. So, like I said, if we got heterosexual man versus heterosexual woman, who's going? Man.
Yeah.
If you have heterosexual woman versus homosexual, whatever, you're gonna go heterosexual.
Even if the woman is more qualified. Even if she got more. Even if she got.
Now you have two homosexuals, one man. One woman. What people are going to trust more in that situation is the man, because that is just the one mark he has against him is his homosexuality. The woman has two marks. She's a homosexual and she's a woman. We have to be real about how we look at things.
I'm trying to understand.
I know that's what you're asking, but that's how the world looks at it. Like Amber just said, people like to pretend that they're progressive, but that's how the world looks at it. Just think about it.
So you think you agree the same thing?
Hold on. Think about it. I'll tell you like this. You watch a man throw a ball, and he has no velocity behind it, and what do you say? You throw like a girl. Yeah. You don't say, oh, you can't throw, or you got a soft arm. What you do is you compare it to something that you have put at a lower value than something. As a man, you should be able to fire that thing, throw it perfectly.
Things,
I don't care if you've ever seen somebody throw the ball before. You should be able to do it perfectly.
So then now, do you agree with that as well too? That if there was a homosexual man, homosexual woman vying for the presidency, all things being the same in terms of like qualifications and status and all that kind of stuff, who do you think the country's electoral college is picking?
They're gonna pick the man because just off of the history of the country. Okay. It doesn't matter what it doesn't matter what they did before. They're gonna look at the situation and say, okay, this is our norm. This is normal now. Okay, still, take it as a church. Churches have had musical directors who have been homosexual, who have been like outwardly flamboyant, but they've said to them, don't bring it around the church.
Mm-hmm.
Keep it quiet. For years they've done that. And it has, there's people today that are still choir directors, that are still homosexual. It's okay if you're a man, but let a female be a preacher. No, they're not doing that. She could have all the qualifications in the world.
Yeah.
She could have a husband. Yeah. She could have a family.
I think it's worse with the husband. But
I'm saying she could have all that stuff, and they would still be like, we'll take dude over here, but you ain't getting up on there. We don't care.
That seat, like, so at a local level, your mayor only makes the city feel safe. Your governor only makes it safe. But that seat is what the country looks to for refuge and solidarity. And we don't get it all the time, right?
Yeah.
So I'll tell you like this. If you had to hire security, right, you don't actually you never seen any of the security in action.
Yeah.
But your choice is 2 men or 2 women. Who are you choosing?
Probably, like I said, probably the men.
Exactly, and it's just
because the physical power is in that particular capacity. But that's why I asked you.
But it's because of what you tie to it. In reality, those 2 women could be probably way more qualified than the 2 men, and probably whoop everybody ass that come next to you.
Potentially, but
right?
given the scenario,
exactly.
Said,
but because of how we view things, and we don't always want to be honest about how we view things.
That's why I asked.
Exactly.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, so that's why I say
they'd be like, I'm all for progress. What's that word again?
Yeah.
No. I'm saying they'd be like, I'm all for.
She could her bedroom could be however she wanted to be, you know. And I think she's a great candidate.
Yep.
And all that, and she has a bright future in politics.
And I ain't got to tell you why when I walk out that booth and walk in my 100%. Car and go home.
No, I was wondering if everybody has a kind of that, because I agree with you.
Yeah.
In the sense of like we like what we're used to.
Yeah.
And we don't always want to be honest about it, but there's certain things that are attributed to the masculine energy versus feminine energy, and we tend to, like, when it comes to order, when it comes to like making decisions, we tend to try to rely and lean on that.
Like when Mitt Romney was running, they didn't want Mitt Romney to be president. It was like a Mormon, president, Oh, you crazy! Yeah, that's not happening. I don't care.
Because it was a little outside, and then on top of it, like they didn't feel like, you're gonna really make the decisions.
No, have you listened to what they believe?
Yeah,
and so it's like some people outside of that, you have hardcore conservative Christians, even the most progressive, think that somebody was on some acid or something when 100% like no, and so it's like, oh, you want somebody who believes that running our country, because that's the idea and understanding that people have about it.
Yeah,
right. And
even
so
though that's not the case, but
exactly,
exactly.
And so exactly.
So that's why I asked the question to everybody. So it seems like there's consensus, like pretty much like. But
we can go to this last topic. I asked a question because I was having a conversation earlier this week. And I've seen a bunch of videos, and we see a lot of videos on what women should change, what happens, what women like nowadays, what's the 50-50 generation, what changes now. But what I want to ask the question as far as the guys go, like, do men what are the expectations on men? Are they more or less compared like the past generations, like, and why or why not? Because for the people before us, generation is X, because we're
millennials. So
we're millennials, zennials, and Y. But they were in that whole, you get a job, you provide, you go home. Now we're in a different space where women are making more. They're more educated.
Or indoctrinated, but continue.
But they still got the credentials. They got more credentials than the guys.
Way more. Oh no, that's great. But I said, but to me, education and indoctrination are two separate things, because you're more broke than you've ever been. But continue, we can go.
But
that's because of poor spending habits. Let's be real.
Honestly,
they've always had poor spending habits, but they just are more in debt now between student loan debt. But continue.
But also you have, on the other hand, you have guys who are less educated.
Yeah.
Who they might be making close to their money.
Yeah.
or they might be making a lot less than the people.
Overall, I think you guys make on overall in general. I think I'm going to say the women make more.
Yeah.
Black. We're talking about just black.
Black. If we're talking about
No,
black community.
I'm talking about in general.
No, if it's in general, it's not women make more.
No,
men.
women
No,
Yeah.
in
a black
Yeah,
community,
black
women-
community yes, but in
Because
white
white
men,
men are going
actually,
white men no matter what.
actually,
because that's it.
actually, the top dog is Asian men, and then it's white men.
In terms of actual
and
income,
then
it's
it's
Asian.
yeah.
But as far as
So is there less? Is there more? You're asking, is there more?
is there more expectations on men now than in the past generation, or is there less? Because now,
I think
the
I'll let you
thinking
go.
is the thinking now is like, hey, more or less we're splitting more and more. You get yours, I'll get mine. We can get ours together, or you do your thing and I'll do my thing. If we match up somewhere, then cool. But there's less of the things that we saw. There's less of that, and there's more of.
This is wild.
There's more of. I'm going to do me, and I'm going to be. I'm just going to stick to myself.
You talking about women or men?
Men.
No, this is for okay, cool. So this is the thing. So let's split this up. So you basically said, as far as, is there less expectation on men in terms of what they actually have to provide in order to have a interaction with a woman, or like a relationship with a woman?
I think there's two things. I think there's two things that exist right now.
Okay.
I think that there's, and this is gonna be super unpopular, but I think there's a lack of support for black men to evolve, right? And more of a beating up of black men for not evolving, right? Because, like you said, black women have become more educated. So, and people are probably going to say I'm talking crazy or whatever, but when they became more educated, they started talking down to black men because they weren't as educated. And so now you're saying, because you're not making as much as money, you're not as smart as me, you're not, almost telling them you're not even worthy for my time. And so now they're out looking for this black man that doesn't exist because because like you said, he's not educated and he's not making the money next to it. So now they're looking for this Superman, but he doesn't exist. So now you have this man who's isolated and he's like, well, I might as well just get comfortable with being isolated because obviously there's no future in that for me, because what is asked of me, I can't provide. Because in reality, this not happiness that women are asking for. It's the financials that you can bring to the table. But the thing is if you're bringing something and I'm bringing something, it's still more than what we each had when we came to the table.
My man's spitting, but I want to ask you a question then. So if that becomes the reality,
that used to be logic when men made more money.
No. This thing, I know, I like where you're at. So now the question is, you're talking from a man's perspective. What does that woman do in her occupying time? Like, I'm working my nice job now. I got my master's degree. I'm doing that kind of stuff. That man doesn't exist, so he over here chilling on his little 43-inch TV on his bed. So what is she doing? What is she doing? What is that woman doing?
Go ahead, Amber.
I think the frustration comes. First of all, I don't disagree. So I agree with what's been said. Because it does suck, so once you reach a point and you're kind of just like, well, come on. And then you said, well, it's the man that doesn't exist. No, he does exist. He exists in your counterparts. And that's what sucks, because you guys haven't been given a safe space. And so then we see our counterparts, the white women and the Asian, we see them getting this. And so we get upset and frustrated because it's like, why aren't we getting this too? But then we have to remember that statistically, you guys don't make as much. And then we have to remember statistically,
but what do they
most
do?
of you guys were raised in homes without fathers.
Yeah.
And then we get frustrated. So then now they've beaten you up and they've done all these things and we've been verbally abusive. And that's kind of why it's this kind of like This rock in a hard place.
what-
You know
what
I'm
happened
saying?
What do you do? No, that's the question. That's the question.
No,
Both of you.
I
I asked
got
both of you.
I got
I'm
you.
asking
I
both
got
questions.
you.
Okay,
I got
you
Because now it's
and
this
you. I asked you the
rock in a
same question I
hard
asked
place.
Mark.
It's like, well,
Is
what
that
do we-
what does the average
I'm gonna-
African American woman do when they're in that situation?
She outsources.
Mark.
She outsources.
They start
Okay,
dating.
okay,
No,
please.
she
Okay,
outsources.
I'm ready.
But no, but
Yeah.
what Emra's right in saying that man does this. But what I was saying is that man does not exist in your community.
Okay,
Right,
cool.
right,
So then
right.
I'm ready.
And
What does she do?
But I
The
just
man
wanted to
that
make sure
does,
this
the
is
man
no
that
existence.
does
That's why
have
we're
the
frustrated.
appearance in your community probably sells drugs
Okay.
or something like that, right? And so what has happened is they have
What's she about to
replaced that man with either the drug dealing dude who can keep up financially with her.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? Until he gets popped, and then now she can say, well, all black men are bad because either they can't get their lives together, either they're in jail, or they're not educated, or they don't make enough money, or they don't have the jobs, right?
Yeah,
So
okay.
then she gets her a white dude, or an Asian dude, or a Mexican dude.
Do you think she can
or-
compete?
Or
Okay, okay, I'm
or
ready.
she becomes content with being by herself. Like, and we have to realize that we are in the era of now with people are starting to become content with being by themselves because there has been a flood of the dating market of just singles of singles that where it's like this imbalanced thing to where I want like there's men like myself who say I want this certain type of black woman, but she don't treat me like Becky does.
Yeah.
She don't treat me like Maria does.
Yeah.
Because guess what? Maria and them, they love. No, seriously.
No facts.
They, no, love the ground,
I'm
love the
rocking
ground
with
I
y'all.
walk on.
Yeah.
She appreciates. No,
pull those
Maria.
names.
No, Maria
She's
loves what I
alright.
bring to the table because she likes the fact that I'm going out there and I'm doing something.
Okay.
That I'm not just sitting
Okay.
around doing nothing at all.
Yeah.
That I'm trying to progress. And so a lot of times, and not all black women, but a lot of times black women are looking at you and saying, well, why are you still there? Well, guess what? My success doesn't happen overnight.
Yeah.
And you shouldn't be along for the ride if you don't understand that it don't happen overnight.
Okay, so
because yours didn't. You had to go to school, and guess what?
Yeah.
Most of these women
Yeah.
didn't come out their high schools valedictorians.
Yeah.
A lot of them got their degrees while they had kids. So let's say a lot of your assistance was government assisted. You got to go to school because of grants. You got to go to school because of scholarships. You got
And
the
a husky promise,
opportunity
yeah.
to build up. The men are struggling because
But-
guess what? You can't walk in and get no housing if you're a single
but
man.
I
You
think
can't-
also there's part of this situation. There are women who work a normal 9 to 5.
Yep.
They aren't highly educated. They're I don't want to say they're I don't want to say they're on the same
average.
level as they're average.
Average, yeah.
But I think also
There's
you
nothing
have
wrong with that.
And I think they're doing
think
fine.
that's-
No,
and I
okay.
think
I
that
think
to
they're
be
doing
said,
fine.
No,
because a lot of
They're
this-
doing
They're doing
fine.
fine.
No,
Because
but
that
here's
needs to be said
here's
over the
thing.
interwebs.
But
Because most people, it needs to be said just because of the fact that everybody wants to be that.
Yes.
Yeah.
That boss chick, that. And I'm like, first of all, half your guys' businesses aren't doing as well as you make it seem. But also, it's okay to be average.
But
it's
It
okay
is.
to
but I
work
think-
a 9
but I
to
think
5.
also-
It's
and make
okay
your
to go
little
to work
40
and
grand
come
a year,
home to your
50 grand a
family.
year. It's okay
But I
to be
think those
average.
but I think those average
Because
women
we are doing okay.
those average
Yes.
women are also a minority,
Okay,
And-
you're getting somewhere.
and also they are.
Because a lot of them are taken. That's why.
No, that's it.
A lot of them are taken
They're
because
taken,
some.
and they represent a lot of good relationships that don't change.
Of course, because
And we see, and people see that people who are up here, and they say, "Hey, I want this, I want this, I want this," but there's not enough people up here. It's like, well, this person's like, "Hey, I'm with somebody here, but they're not always. We might shift a little bit, but I'm okay with them shifting a little bit
Because that's life.
because that's life." This person up here, whether it's a guy or a girl, sometimes says, "I'm not okay with the shift to where this person might make more than me." So
Which is why I agree with you on the minority tip. I like that you said that. So now the question that I have, like, first, let's do two things. So I wanted to get the percentages in terms of what you guys just think. Because like I said, I mean, ain't nobody holding y'all nothing to it. Then I would like to ask Amber specifically what this is going to look like. Because you already said that people are going to start getting more comfortable. And there's actually statistical data that talks about that.
true.
Is that they said they put out, it was at a banking thing. It says 52% of women between the ages of 25, I believe, and 45
Probably.
are going to remain single.
Yeah.
So now what they're doing is now these banks, what are they investing in? They're investing in all the things that you do to make yourself feel more okay with being single.
Yeah.
But that's a general woman thing. But specifically in the African American community, I wonder what that looks like. Because you said, I'm going to deal with the dude, and I liked what you said there, is that I'm going to deal with the dude who may be able to provide those means, but can't provide me, they can provide me the lifestyle, but maybe not provide me the emotional support and all that kind of stuff. And I think personally is that you're going to keep on running into these friends with benefits situations, and that's pretty much how you're going to sustain your life. You're going to have a Boston marriage with your sister or your friend or whatever like that, live together because you can't financially sustain. And then I think
a what?
All right. Well,
They call them Boston marriages
this is
when
what I want to say
Like
before.
what me and my sister do. Like, kind of like when you live with a friend. It's like a roommate
Oh.
situation.
girls
Okay,
living
okay.
together.
So
Girls
it's like,
living
so it's like,
together.
Kinda like
so it's
that.
like,
Yeah.
like, and before Amber goes, I just want to say, like, it's. I think that I think that what's like really what's being created is, like you said, like people are being more comfortable being by themselves, but at the same time, I think that a part of it, when we talked about like average women, right? It's one thing about like understanding what you value, right? And so like average, when we talk about, and I don't want to say average women, like,
Yeah,
but
it's kind of hard to see.
I feel like it's, I
In
kind
the
of feel like it's,
circle,
I
we
feel
don't
like,
consider it
no,
derogatory,
that's what I'm saying, but I
understand
kind of feel
what
like
you're
it's
saying.
disrespectful.
If it sounds
I
disrespectful,
kind of just feel like it's
we've actually made it
disrespectful.
disrespectful, which is kind of crazy.
I feel like it sounds
disrespectful, but I understand exactly what you're saying.
Right?
Because if you say average
I feel
man,
like
I don't take disrespect.
yes, but I feel
But
like
y'all fit into that bracket, and it's okay.
But
Yeah,
But
we
if
don't,
you say
yeah,
average
because
woman,
logically,
it's kind of
But-
if it's average woman, you're like.
But when I say average, I mean at the norm.
norm,
Yeah.
You know
right.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I think what they value is stable support for and from their partners. You know what I'm saying?
Family.
More stable households, right? And so that comes with a level of respect and understanding and knowing that, as long as we stay here, even if it slips, if we can figure out how to get back here, I'm with you, right?
Yep.
And so that's why you say you have better relationships from that. When you value finance, right? Your relationship is based off of that. And so when finance changes, you change. It's easier for you to find a way out because now the lifestyle has changed, or the accessibility or the resources.
are we
have changed.
talking specifically about African Americans? Because now that's the specific question I'm asking.
I agree. We've gotten there with African Americans.
Okay.
Because see, the thing is
because if you're coming in, because the average African American woman, she's coming in with a couple kids.
people talk about white folks oppression, and I think the strongest part of oppression is how you make black people feel about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
And so where we got to this point to where we weren't content with who we were.
Yeah.
And because we weren't content with who we were, we did everything we could to look like the counterpart, to feel happy.
Mm-hmm.
And so you take it 50 years, 60 years later to where, we were being able to start to break ourselves into this market to be able to look like our counterparts, right? You have now where, white people talk about vacation homes and going on vacation and all that. Why has vacation in the black community have been so big now? Because that's what your counterpart did. Yeah. And you want to make yourself feel valued because you think the value is in doing the same thing that other people do. Yeah. Right? And so that's why I say, like, with finance. So with finance, if you're not going on trips anymore, like if you're meeting a girl and y'all going out, it's funny because I was talking to one of my homeboys this weekend. He's trying to date this girl, but they're not even a thing. But he'll take her on all these trips. They go to California. He ain't even, but they go to California. They went to like the San Juan Islands or something, and they doing all this, and he's spending all this money. Yeah. Right? And the girl don't even like him.
Wild.
You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, you know what I'm saying? She's willing to entertain the time because what he's doing, if that stops, she no longer entertains the time.
So then now with that being said, in the African American community, I'm wondering what the composition looks like, because right now at our age, like let's say mid 30s, late 30s, your reality is I got 2 or 3 kids. So let's say once we hit let's say we hit early 40s, right? What does the composition look like between the age bracket of the late 30s to early 40s as we go forward, because the dollar is getting weaker, things are getting tighter? What do you think that it looks like in the African American community amongst our women? Because I think
she doesn't want to take a step back because she drives a Mercedes Benz or a nice Impala.
So she'll just keep on getting ding dings thrown inside of her for the next couple of years. You think?
Some of them might end up just not at all, and so it's abstaining.
Okay, so that's what I'm saying. It's like, so what would, if you broke that down into like a image or a picture that we could see? You're saying, what would you say? Like half of women are just going to be over here.
I would say like 40%.
Okay.
35 to 40% will say, I don't want to pick bad, so I don't like the choices I have, or I might be. I don't like the choices I have. I might be in a smaller community where I've kind of been to both sides of the pool. I don't like the pool.
Okay.
So
I'm interracially dating, man.
Some of them might, and some of them might just be alone. I mean,
I'm saying you could also say I'm going to step out of this pool and I'm going to get into the larger pool. And I say
okay. So let's say you're saying about 40 to half percent.
I would say about 30 to 40. Say, hey, okay, I'm going to step back from dating.
Okay. So what are the rest of them going to do?
I think 20 to 25% will say, just like he said, I'm going to look outside of black men because I can't find. I've had bad experiences, or I can't find one that I like. And I know can provide.
They don't know what they like.
Okay, so we're at 75. We're at between 65 and 75%. So then we got the last 25% from you. So what would you say the last 25% is doing?
The last 25% is
going to settle.
Is going to settle.
So there's going to be some that settle, and then there are going to be some who like Marv said, it was like, no, I've already accomplished so much. I don't want to step backwards, which justifiably so, to be honest. Like, I feel it.
What was your breakdown? What would you say your breakdown would be?
I don't feel like playing that game. So I'm just going to say, because I guess that's too much.
But see, I don't.
It could just be my mood today. I'm sorry. So I'm just kind of like, but no, some are going to end up staying alone. Some are going to settle. And I look over a lot of the women I know who happen to be in that bracket.
Would you say
and
majority would
settle?
Some of them
who don't have kids. Oh, no. I don't think a lot of them. I think some are going to settle. I think most of them are going to end up staying alone.
Okay. That's why I was just trying to get it.
As I look at the situation, I'm like, oh, you're probably better off that way. Just because, like you said, who wants to go backwards? Some people will be inclined, and some people are going to date outside the race because it happens. But then also, a lot of the people outside the race don't want to deal with us either because of that black girl attitude. Yes. And so, even with that, because that's the thing now, they always want to blame us to be the black girl attitude. So even if the outside the race ain't going to deal with you for whatever reason,
or they don't want to deal with the social
stigma,
stigma. Well, not social stigma, but they don't want to deal with. Some people don't want to deal with the fact that I got to stick up for everything.
I have to have your back all the time.
Exactly, I have to have your back for every single thing that happens, and I don't want to.
So a lot of them are, and I love the fact that we already outnumber y'all so much anyway. Yeah. Just on the numbers game alone, a lot of people were going to end up alone.
Well, I'll tell you like this. I'll just tell you this. Men strive more behind the confidence of women. It's just a fact. It's just when women uplift and make a man confident, make a man confident. He and so that's not happening. And so I don't buy into the whole because he don't make enough money or whatever, and your finances might take a step back, because I don't buy into all that. Because if you can instill confidence in that man, you're not taking a step back. You know what I'm saying? If you value, if that's what you value, what you drive, and how you live, then yes, you should be by yourself, because no, that man.
I was
You
watching-
don't deserve that man.
So
Like
I was watching Kendra G, and so she does a dating show on YouTube, and this chick was going to school to be a doctor. She was doing a residency, and she said she wanted to date a man who made $500,000. Kendra's face lit up, and she was like, "Why so much?" And she said, "Because in the circles that and Kendra had asked her, she said, well, how many men do you know actually make that?" She was like, "Oh no, a lot, because of the circles in which she runs in, because this is what she's going to school for, and this is what she's doing, and so the circles in which she runs in, not just black men, but even other races of men, and a lot of her female counterparts had met men who were making that because of the circle in which she keeps herself in." And so, though I hear what you're saying, well, you don't deserve that man because, right, I hear you. But not all women think that way, because her whole thing was,
Yes,
it's not necessarily about, and she did say, she was like, no, if he is going to school and if he's doing something to progress to more, I'm willing to build with him, that's fine. But I need to know that this is the goal, and I need to know that you're actually doing something, because this is the circle in which I run. This is what I see. So this is not just what I want, this is what I know is obtainable, because I've seen it be attainable.
But it's
And
not.
so
But
though
it's
I
not. But
understand
it's
what
still
you're
not
saying,
everybody. It's
it's
still not
not-
everybody's lane. And we
I'm
also known that people, when you put those expectations on people, you're usually disappointed. And that's what we are starting to learn, is that instead of expectation, just trying to find where you can motivate somebody. And yeah, obviously everybody's not going to be able to motivate. We have done a terrible job at qualifying people on who's motivated and who's not. Because let's be real, a lot of times, some of the biggest people, even some of the biggest white people, some of the most successful people you have, didn't go to schools that have doctrines or weren't weren't
Because I
in
don't
those circles.
disagree. I don't disagree
Yes,
with what
and so
you're
that's what I'm
saying.
saying. Regardless of what a person, no, I'm saying that's what our problem is that because a person says this is how I think, we say, well, because you think that, that's okay, and that's also a set a set of mental trauma that we never talk about. Is that sometimes you
to be able to provide
it's
for
not
you
no. That's not what I'm saying.
So after you're done,
I am not saying to want somebody to be able to provide for you, to feel like he has to be somewhat of the finished product that you want before that. So that's what I'm saying.
Because
like,
I'm that.
Yes, but we're talking about a community where we're talking about a community. We're talking about a community. We're talking about a community where your potential suitor does not have the opportunity that you have, so he's not going to make that.
So now with the question. Now the question specifically for you is that in that, because in some sense both of them have given that. Do you think the majority, so let's say 50% or like right around that point, plus or minus, whatever, a little bit, of the African American women, given their situation and where they sit right now, do you think that they will opt to stay single and maybe get a little ding appointments?
I can't speak for that because I'm not a woman, but what I can speak to is that men are going to just do what they already do, and they're going to date other races because what they realize is that, and what we see, let's be honest, is that what they say is, you want to be successful, well, they get successful and they get them a white girl. What we see is they usually come up with this white girl, and she knows what motivates her is his success. So all she does is pump him up and creates his ego so that he can be successful. And that's what you're starting to see. That's why black men are jumping ship. You see it, and they talked about it for a long time. They said, well, "Why you want Becky? Because Becky will make me a sandwich." That used to be the joke. No, that's what I'm trying to tell you is it's serious, because you're going to go where you feel accepted.
And that makes sense. And that's what you're saying.
That's why I say I only talk for men.
Telling you, I wasn't disagreeing. Yeah. Just adding another aspect in it, because it does kind of suck to hear. Well, you have to help build, and sometimes you're kind of like, but if I've already done it, as another chick I was speaking of in specific didn't have children, so she did have to kind of work from the ground, and kind of do it. But also like, it does suck. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, no, I hear you, but it does suck to think I've done all these things, whether it had been through means of the state or means through my scholarship or whatever the case, to think that now I kind of have to slow down too.
Yes,
and some women, and here's the thing, not all women are good builders like that.
Yeah.
Some of us can do it, but not all women can, and not all of them can. And so So again, it's about to go back to the absence of men in the homes.
Yeah.
So, but men's not being in the homes now required girls to have to watch their parents do this whole 2 and 3 job thing, just like y'all did.
Yes.
And so now we had to go to school to create a narrative to where now we're able to provide for ourselves because we've seen
All right, so
that a lot of them don't.
I'll tell you two
And
real life.
so now we're in this position to where you're saying things like, well, now we have to date outside of our race because you guys don't want
No,
the
no,
average
but
man.
that's not what
and
I'm
it's
saying.
like, you're right.
But
We don't
yeah, I
want
am
it,
saying
and
that.
It sucks.
I am
You
saying
know,
that,
and it-
but I'm saying it because for a reason. I'll tell you that.
It's-
I was
it
in.
sucks
I've been
for
in.
both of us. It
I've been in
sucks for y'all
corporate.
to
No,
be in that
I've been in
position,
corporate
but it
spaces.
sucks for us to have to eat that spot too.
I've been in corporate.
You know?
I've been in corporate spaces where they talked about let's diversify. Right. As soon as they say that, it's not. Well, it's first is let's find minority businesses, but they don't say let's find minority businesses ran by black men. They say let's find minority businesses that are ran by black women and put the corporate dollars behind it. See, no, you became the finished product because the white man has put the
I'm
white
not arguing that,
yeah,
Mark.
but that's all I'm saying.
I'm not
So you can't.
arguing that.
But what we're doing is we're also penalizing the person because the person who puts the corporate dollars behind the black female is wagging his finger and saying you're not accepted in the club to the black man, and because he does not have the same opportunity
Correct.
to play in those same spaces,
No one's-
he's being
no
that's
one's
that,
disagreeing with
and-
that.
no,
and-
I'm
that's
just
what
saying-
that's what it sounds like
but
at
I'm
the
not-
end of
so-
the day.
so now I'm telling
That's
you-
what I'm saying.
Right. So no one's
So
disagreeing
that's
with
what I'm
that.
saying.
I am saying though, it does put back to my original point. It is a rock and a hard spot because it does suck for you guys to have to live in that reality, but it sucks for us to have to live in this reality too. To where, like you said, regardless of how I got here,
That's how they pit us together
right.
for you to be
And
for you to get
regardless of how
for
I
you to
got
get all
here.
the opportunity
So-
and for us to not and
yeah.
you to say, well,
And
that's
then
your
to say-
problem.
and then
That's
to
no
say-
one is saying
yeah,
that's your
and-
problem,
and
but it's
so-
also saying like,
No,
well,
no,
what
but a
am I
lot-
supposed
but-
to do too?
no, but
to be put in a
I-
position to like now where
and-
I have to take on the most of the bills and then still.
That's not
and then
that
still
that
be
that ain't
expected to
that's
do
not
this.
what
Or
nobody
now
that's not what
I'm
nobody's saying.
expected
So-
to
That is
do.
not what
So
nobody's
it does-
saying.
it
That is
does
not what
put
nobody's
everybody in
saying.
a rock and
Because
a
we're
hard
talking
place
about
for you guys to live in that
we're talking
space.
about 50-50 situation.
And
We're
then
not
for a
talking
woman to
about
feel like,
we're not
okay,
talking
well,
about
if I have to
somebody
settle-
we're not talking about a dude sitting on the couch playing Xbox all day.
No.
We're talking about men.
I'm
No,
saying-
no, we're talking about men who probably go to work, probably make $60,000 after
Right.
taxes and probably child support and all. That ain't nothing. You know what I'm saying? And so yeah, he's where we lived in a country to where one person could probably used to hold down a household 20 years ago.
Right.
That is not the reality. So
at
even
all.
though you got a college degree and you make certain amount of money, dude with 50, 60 G's coming home, he can still help
I
you
agree.
with half of the bills. The thing is that because she may make 80, 90, 100, and he only makes 60, she still devalues him because he does not have the education. He does not have the job. He is not getting the opportunities that she's having. That is the problem.
But
That's what I am
but
talking
think
about.
part of
No
that,
one disagrees with that.
Yeah, that's all I'm saying.
Okay.
Yeah.
No
So-
one
so- yeah.
disagreed with you
Yeah.
yet, though.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what I'm saying.
No, in a sense, it sounds like
No one disagreed
I'm
with
not.
you
I
yet.
didn't.
but I think part of
Just
that,
because
You
you
play
say
it back. It
different
sounds like
things.
I didn't know.
part of
Well,
that,
we
part
all
of that
saw it. That's how I feel.
situation is the woman who's gotten a leg up on certain things is not looking also to the man who hasn't gotten a leg up. So she might like your situation. She's looking in a different. She's looking at a different level.
different
Or
market.
you don't have to put anybody below you down to look at
Up.
a different to look
I
at the
don't
level
think-
that you're
I
on.
don't
What I'm
devalue
trying to
you. I
what I'm
just
trying
would
to tell
like
you
to at
is
least be with someone who
even if you're on this level, if we're talking about black community, right, and we're talking about blacks looking for blacks, then if you're on this level, the person that's looking for you is on this level, and no time out. When he comes to look for you, you're denying him because when he presents himself to you, you're on this level and he's not. And what I'm saying is, just like I said, all the corporations, the corporate dollars, the opportunities, they put them behind the black women. That's great. I'm not saying that that's bad. But what eventually happens is because now I get to play in these spaces because I had to help, and I don't recognize you the same because I walk in these rooms.
Yeah,
And so that's what I'm saying. That's all I'm saying.
We
I'm
get
not
that,
saying
but
nothing more than
but
that.
I
No one's
think-
disagreed
but
with
I-
that
nobody-
point at
yeah,
all.
we're not
And that's what I
I-
just keep saying.
I think when you get in these spaces, like say for instance, you go to networking events that are on Wednesdays and Fridays at 3:00 in the afternoon. That's Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays, 3:00 in the afternoon, and that's when you have time to network and to socialize with people who you people who you are in close proximity with, people who are in your community with, you're not going to see some of those people who might have a different job than you, who might be in a different part of the community with you.
Or now I see you and I bring you and you don't know how to act. Or you don't know how to carry yourself, or you don't know how to have a conversation,
We're not talking about Junebug from the block though. That's what I'm saying. That's why it's coming later. We're talking about men who actually have good jobs.
No, but that
they
doesn't
just
mean
don't pay enough.
Carry yourself in certain situations.
I work at Microsoft and I only make $50,000 a year. I don't act like that when I'm out. No. So that's what I'm saying. That's what we're talking about. I'm the type of man that we're talking about.
Listen. No.
No, but you saying because you don't act. You know how to act.
This is a beautiful point. This is a beautiful point. Case in point is that when you come to this particular place, and I think they don't realize, and a shout out to Megan Thee Stallion, I don't mean shoot yourself in the foot, but my thing was talking about like black women a lot of times have shot themselves in the foot.
Don't disagree.
Because they have these ideologies in their head about like not only unrealistic, because one part that I wanted to get to we didn't get to was having to do with, let's be real. Amber and I, we used to have the conversation. I'm like, if you're not going to college and have something serious you're going to, you're having a kid by 24 at the latest, as an African-American woman, right? Typically. So I'm not talking about whatever. So then now I got to raise your son and you still want me to make this much money, which is why I agreed with y'all that saying a lot of them are going to opt out. And the reason why you're going to opt out is that you barely have a choice to opt in.
Right.
So let's keep that a bean. So that's one thing. So then the second part of y'all that may have quote unquote did what you think you were supposed to do and didn't have kids, or maybe like you kept yourself together and you got some education so that you can abide in this system that supports certain levels of indoctrination, right? You're working here and kicking it, but you don't want to be with somebody who makes equal to you because you can't respect them. So now we're here and you think that somebody is beneath you, even though you're the one who's not well suited for occupation in a relational family setting.
But we have
So what I'm saying is like, so you think that he's less, but you don't even know how to abide in a family. You don't know how to have friends, nigga. You let alone have a family. And I think that's the part that's kind of crazy to me in all of this is that I see, like what y'all said, is that a lot of people are going to opt out because you don't even have the choice to opt in. Because guess what? I got 2 kids, and though I'm making $70,000 a year, I couldn't submit to a man who's even making 80.
But here's the thing too. On the flip side of that situation, you have a lot, and in that set of women, you have a lot of women who are at the age where they don't have any kids, and they're dealing with dudes who have kids, who have kids, and they don't want to deal with.
And you're gonna opt out.
But here's the thing. But you're going to opt out because you don't want to deal with somebody who has a certain situation.
Facts.
That's not.
I don't disagree with you.
That's not suitable to your situation. That's why we have more. But
in the times that we're going through, people are getting laid off left and right. I don't care that you go do this. They got AI now that does the job 10 times better than you, and you're in human resources. Because most women don't work in infrastructure building jobs. They work in human resources. You work in nonprofits. You work in a lot of these other capacities. So as all those jobs end up going away, you still don't have access and a man in your network to be able to participate with you at that level. So yes, you're here, but at the same time, this here is predicated upon what kind of economy that you're in. You still need black men need black women. No, black women need black men more than black women need black men. When it really comes down to it, when you're talking about infrastructure and protection and all that kind of stuff, the black woman needs to understand as far as that, not just because of his income, you need him because guess what? In the presence of a man, men don't try other men 9 times out of 10. Let's keep it a bean. When you're in the presence of a man, black man or white man in general, there's certain things that don't happen when a man is available and is there. And it's just unfortunate to me that just because you're making a couple extra dollars because this white man happens to have a couple extra dollars in his coffer to be able to offer you so he can get extra incentives back, you're shooting yourself in the foot and you're making yourself worse off than the black man. Because if we had the black man and the black woman racing right now, the black man, though he's been losing for many years, he still beats a black woman and she doesn't even understand that she participated in her own genocide. And that's the real issue that I think comes there is that you don't realize that You need him. I don't care if you're making $30,000 a year. You need him to provide structure to your home. You need him to be able to provide protection, because when this economy tanks, what's really happening is you're putting yourself in a position that you're going to have to rely on the state, because most black women that I know, you know who your protection? Oh, I did it all by myself. You didn't do nothing by yourself. The state either protected you or some community protected you, and that's what happened. And it's unfortunate.
But you're still
and that's
leaving,
on average.
You're still leaving out the set of women who don't have kids.
No, you don't have kids.
No, but
that's what I'm saying. You opted out. You opt out.
But that don't have kids and are independent enough to say, I don't need to deal with any of this. I don't need to.
No, you don't. No.
So
And the reason why I already said you already opted out, because in the African American community, to opt in, you have two choices. I'm going to have to deal with the black man who's been disenfranchised, and though he's 6% of the population, he's 48% of the prisons. So you're either going to have to opt into the struggle that we had to participate in, or you know what else you're going to do? You're going to have to opt out. Or let's say you don't, so I'm talking that specific woman. I don't have any kids. So what are you going to do? You're going to try to participate and compete with the white woman, which you can't do. She gonna beat you out almost every single time, because she already knows the situation she's in. There are a bunch of us. I got to compete with all these other girls, and I got to compete with you. Nigga, I'll make 10 sandwiches to be with this nigga. So listen, so you got to compete with her. You're going to opt out because you can't opt in.
But for black women.
Yes, for black women.
I'm saying for black women.
Yeah.
You are starting to have a bunch of white, Hispanic, and Southern Indian men vie for this black women, because they're up for the battle.
No, not that much.
Out here?
No. No.
Out here.
I'm talking about the country. So let's say you're talking about a 5% to 6% section of the country. Yeah, that might happen. God bless you. I hope you do well. But I'm saying for the vast majority, y'all niggas gonna be jumping between the same nigga that you've been jumping with. And that's what's going to happen. So you're opting into because you won't opt into us, you're opting out to be single by yourself, and you're going to rely on your children, and you're going to rely on your community to be able to go and help you, especially when you get into those aging ages, to provide you with purpose and to provide you with that protection and that security that you need. So black women don't realize that, oh, we doing this, black girl independence, all that kind of stuff. You are going to be in a worse position than you've ever been in coming up soon, because you won't opt into the black man who was intentionally held down, because you don't understand what was happening here, even though he's been trying to say something to you. And I think that's the problem. So no, you have that little sliver. That's cool. God bless you. I hope that you guys go out to Dubai and Tulum and all that other kind of stuff. I'm talking about the vast majority of African American women. It's going to be a situation that because you didn't opt into the black man, like the black man wants to opt into you, if we're not opting into each other, we're going to end up in a far worse situation, and you're going to be even worse off than niggas. But
here's another question: are more black men opting into black women?
No, not right now. No.
And it's not just, and you see that and you can see that on TikTok. Well, when I look at,
I'm not taking care of 3 niggas, and you're cantankerous. I'm not.
Right.
I think
so when I look at different podcasts and different things, I see different clips and all the different stuff. It does almost feel like, oh, y'all ain't putting up with the bullshit either. You know what I'm saying? Like,
exactly.
Y'all don't
earlier.
I mean, I feel like you said, you guys feel like you're not being supported. Like I said, I never disagreed.
Yeah.
You guys said.
But I think they try first.
No, we always try. We always try.
So that means that the question, the answer to the question is yes, because black men are looking for the black woman.
At first.
The black woman is rejecting
and that's what I'm saying. That's man. The point. That's the point.
And because of rejection, he's going where he's accepted. So that is the
Passport,
problem.
He going
That's
wherever.
the problem.
He's wild.
That's the problem. That's what it is. It's because he's going there first.
Yeah.
And because, like I was saying, just like he just said, and we'll, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, because he's been intentionally held down, they're looking at him like, I don't want to go backwards. And and you're not on my level. So bye.
Are they looking at them? Are
but
black men looking at black women like, I've already tried that and failed, I'm not going to try again?
I don't think that, because let me tell you why. Because guess what? When they get with Becky, when they get with Maria, they're going to school. They're going to community college. They're getting jobs. They're doing all that. And they're hiring the standard because guess what? They have a woman that's saying, you can do it. You can be good at it. You know what I'm saying? All that. And they're coming home to the same treatment as being the man that they feel like they should be treated as. Those women are still cooking for them and are still being still being homely women, right? Even though they make more money than him, right? They're still making him feel like the man in the house. And so he's trying now, he wants to live up to that.
And piggybacking off of what he's saying is, and this is the point, they're not even doing it because they're altruistic and they're a great person.
No.
They just understand the circumstances that they're in, and they're not in a delusion like some of the African-American women that I run across, is that you think that this is a game out here. They know that they got to compete. You know when I go on Facebook dating and, you can't choose nothing? These white women there's way more white women out here than there are African-American women.
Bro, you can go on BLK.
Yeah.
And there's way more white women on there. Matter of fact,
Yes.
it gets so bad. No.
Facts, no, it's facts,
so
bro.
bad. It's so bad
'cause
that
they know
black
they're
women,
competing.
black women, and people be talking about, if I see white people on here, I'm reporting you. Because, no, seriously. Because white women know.
They know that.
White,
they
no.
know
It's not even that. They know so much because we're so messy that they know we're being rejected by black women. And they know all we want to do is feel accepted. And so that.
Sir, what did Sir Mix-a-Lot say?
It's like, hold on. It's like
I pull up quick to get with him.
It's like the Cleveland Browns with Deshaun Watson. Deshaun Watson didn't want to go to the Cleveland Browns. He wanted to go somewhere else. But nobody else was talking them deals. And then the Cleveland said, he had already said no to Cleveland. And Cleveland said, guess what, Deshaun?
Deshaun.
I know everybody else don't want to get this to you, but guess what we got for you? Everything you want. And he said, you know what? I'm finna turn this plane around. I'm coming to Cleveland. And that's the same thing.
Yep.
It's like black men are saying, you know what? Black women, I would be so happy to be with you.
You know what
I'm saying?
Love them.
I would love to be with you. I know that I'm behind the ball, but you know what I'm saying? Like I think that black love is excellent, and they're saying, well, because you're behind the ball, you don't deserve to come on the ride. And we're like, well, shit, I guess I'll get on Becky's train.
Does loyalty to black men or women? I'm trying to. What's the question? How am I trying to word this? I don't want to say. It's hard to say. I'm not loyalty. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, it's not loyalty, but does it look like black women's loyalty to black men is starting to erode, or does it look like black men's loyalty to black women is trying to be built back up, but there are all these forces against it? Like, what?
I feel like we're pinned against each other.
It's intentional. I agree
which was always my whole point. Was just the fact that I feel like there's just a lot keeping us away from each other, and that's the thing. And I said that's the rock and a hard place. There's just a lot that's keeping us away from each other. There's a lot of things keeping us at odds. A lot of back history keeping us at odds. A lot of everything, and it does suck because I know more black women who are willing to be alone rather than date outside the race than I do black men. I know a lot more black men who are willing to date outside of the race than to be by themselves. Which I get it. It is, things are what they are. And it just, like you said, whose loyalty is fading faster. I low-key think it's y'all's. But also it sucks because when you look at all of it is a great big, like, yeah, you guys' loyalty might be shifting a little faster, but ours is not. It's still just a shifting because you guys would rather be by yourselves. And I'm like, that's wild.
Yeah, I don't think
than to take a chance.
I really don't think men rather to be by themselves. I think men know that they aren't good by themselves.
Right.
And
so you guys would rather date out.
And
100%
so it's like I have to. No, it ain't even about loyalty, because you know what's hella funny is I know a lot of black men who do not date black women but are still pro-black because they have a loyalty to blackness that blackness don't have to them. And so I can't say it's loyalty. Okay. I can say that it's man understanding who he is. See, the thing is that people fight with what they want versus what they need. And what men know is that they can't be alone. They need companionship. They need partnership. And so if I'm not going to get it here, I have to outsource it.
And what sucks is, unfortunately, like Cameron said, we need y'all too. and it when it
But you
I'll
guys
get
have
back
been you guys have been conditioned to believe you don't.
no one's
Yes.
disagreeing with
No,
that.
no, no, no,
Those
no,
are
no, no,
right.
no,
It's-
no, no,
wait,
no,
wait,
no, no, I
Those
didn't
are
say
right,
you
'cause
did.
we've been
No, no,
taught-
I didn't.
because we've been
I didn't
taught
say you
that,
were.
like I
Yeah,
said,
I
we've
wasn't saying
been
you
taught,
did.
might as
Yeah.
well do it by yourself.
Here's
Yes.
And that's just not, it's not a healthy way to
Here's
think.
the question, because you just
Because we
you just
had to
said
do it so
you just said
long
something
by
that
ourselves.
kind of made me question. You said the loyalty to black women is not reciprocated, so that's why
I didn't say it wasn't reciprocated.
No, not
I said that I know-
not you. I'm saying what he said. Black men's loyalty to blackness is not reciprocated by black women, but is black women's like loyalty to blackness like reciprocated when they do the same thing? Like, why? Do they look like two different things? Because if we're saying that black men are still loyal to blackness, even if they date outside their race. But if we say black women are not, aren't we creating a double standard?
No. I have a thing there. So I think what it is that everybody tries to show face to a certain capacity. Because if we're really talking about loyalty, just because a man demonstrates that loyalty, especially in African American cultures, because I always thought this was interesting. That I know, like I said, pro-black guys or guys who really care about their culture. They want to like save the children, save African American males. They'll do like different kind of stuff, but they'll be dating a woman who is a little bit more, who may not be part of their original culture, like African American women, because, and I've seen it because like, no, I would date an African American woman. I would love to do that because she shares my culture and stuff like that. But I can't do the cantankerous or the things that are sometimes associated with the poverty and the experience of African American men and women. I can't deal with that. I've seen black women with this whole education thing. Boom, boom, boom. I'll keep on having kids with a black man, but you'll never be able to work with a black man. Men are very pragmatic. And so I think when you talk about loyalty is a very interesting word to use there, because I think black women, though she's like, I keep on dating and dealing with black men will go and like, I'm going to go where I'm needed. There's no loyalty either place because you didn't do what you needed to do to secure your black family. That's why you keep on, you have black kids, but you can't make a black family. To me, on the low, that's worse. Because you keep on producing what's name?
I can produce kids, but
but I'm saying, but you're, but my thing is,
you can take it outside of people who have kids. You see, black men without kids starting to have biracial families. You know what I'm saying? And going there without
it's a need thing, and that's what I'm saying. It's like I almost feel like we can't use the word loyalty there because I think we both have been disloyal to blackness as a whole, as a culture.
I mean, we can take it. I take it because it's like you can have a certain type of black man in the community, and they don't respect him because he is educated. They consider that soft. We had a problem with that, the squares and all that. Women want a certain type of man, cut a certain type of way. We've had that, right? And so what eventually is that dude that's always labeled soft or not a protector? What is he going to do? He's eventually going to go somewhere where he's accepted. Somebody 100%. Who sees him as the things that he wants to be seen at. And so I
Which
think
is why
that
the biggest loser is the biggest contributor. That's
but
why
I don't think that. But I don't think that that's an operation of disloyalty, because my whole thing is I think
I don't either. Yeah. I agree with you. I was just saying it's like if we're gonna call one disloyal, we can't call the other disloyal, because you leaving me and not coming back to get me when I was left out here in the dust. Like I was on Claudine, if we've ever seen the movie. I had to get kicked out the house, but you never brought me back in to hit the jug. Or you were over there getting education, but you didn't come back to pull me back up because you already know that we're not built like we were built before. That to me is just as disloyal. If we want to call it loyalty, that's why I said I don't think loyalty should be the word that's used in the midst of that. Is like, because we both been disloyal if we want to talk about it. But no, I think like you said, people are choosing what they need. We've been pitted in bad situations. But I say ultimately, the opt-in that the African American woman has taken in this current situation and scenario is going to land her in a far worse place, because I don't think that black women don't pick white men and don't pick other races. I think it's a more of a confidence issue than it is about opting in and opting out. I don't think the average black woman in her current condition, in her current situation, would really be able to be picked by the type of even white man or Asian man that they would want. They deal with black men because I think that that's the only thing I can deal with. Because a lot of the black men that they even deal with, guess what? He's the same nigga who would be considered low class. I don't think black women even feel like they have the opportunity to deal with that higher class white man, because that white man or that Asian man or whoever, that other person outside our culture, he ain't take it. If we ain't taking it, he definitely ain't taking it.
But I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know
I've been
about
seeing
that.
You
this
think
stuff
so? Okay. No,
because
listen. Please give me an example because
No,
I don't
because-
think black
listen,
women don't do it because I think it's like I don't even think you can
No.
exist there.
But here's the thing. White.
feel too weird.
Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Black men and white women are two in the same.
Okay.
They're both protected by the counterparts in their race.
Okay.
So white men will see a kinship with black women
But it's different
because
I don't think so.
Yeah,
You're a fetish. I don't think you're anything more than a fetish.
No,
But
no,
here's the
black
thing,
men.
but
No,
here's the thing, but if you're I'm just this
I'm
Right.
interested. No, please let me know. Please educate me.
Some of the pages I have followed, these white men be real predominant white men with these black women. They be bad black women too.
they be
But
bad.
They be
I see them.
bad
I
black
see them
women
at.
too.
I
You
see
guys are
them at the
talking
grocery
about
store.
you're
Yes,
talking
I
about
see.
But
you're
I'm
talking
not-
to me about a
I'm not-
sliver. I'm
Yeah.
talking about if you look at the average
No,
black woman, it's not
average,
happening
no.
at that level.
Average, no.
What's going
Yeah.
on right now is that black men are becoming a fetish for white women.
Yep.
Facts.
And
agree.
black
could be a
women,
lifetime
black-
fetish, though.
No,
I
hold
can be
on,
that.
Hold on. Black
Oh.
women are becoming a check for white men.
I agree.
And that's all it is. That's
I
why
agree
it's
with
a
you.
protection of the counterpart. It's just like in life.
I don't think
Life. Who's the pappy? You know what I'm saying? Like, no, seriously.
no, yeah, no, for
But
real.
I don't
No,
think-
seriously,
don't-
because
right,
it was
right. That's
the
why
whole
all this
reason,
is
the
thing.
whole thing of it had nothing to do but a white woman's fetish with a black man,
Yep.
and so that's all. Like I tell, and I be honest with white women all the time. I tell them, you don't like me because I'm black. You want me because I'm black. Because no,
Facts.
it's like the eighth wonder of the world to you. What's it like? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you get a taste of it, and it's different than you've ever experienced. And that's how white men end up like that, like
Right.
because they eventually experience
Don't
it, and they're
disagree.
like, hey, but at the same time, we're more exotic to white women than
Yeah.
black women are to white men.
I don't
What-
know.
no,
about
No.
that.
no.
Okay, wait. Marv, stay right there. Hold that thought.
I
No.
don't know about
No.
that. I don't know
Yo,
about
Trey.
that.
Okay, Trey. We're in Tacoma. We're in the
All right,
capital.
so tell you,
we're
I'll tell
in
you
the
like this.
capital.
I'll tell you like
We're
this.
in the capital.
You look at some of these prenups with these
We
white
are
men.
in the capital.
No,
my
time
G.
out. You look at some of these prenups
okay.
with these white men. They have weight clauses. They have anything. You tell me
Yo,
you
weight
like
clause
no.
is
You tell me you
crazy.
like no. You tell me you like black women when you got weight clauses, when you got curve clauses, when you got all that type of stuff. When you don't idolize what a black woman, because more times than not you idolize black women. You idolizing everything that come with that, the curves, the word, all that, right?
I don't
It-
think
it-
that's gotta be.
Why are white women working
that's
out in the
anomaly.
droves that are staying with white men? They're keeping themselves tight,
Yeah.
fit. They're not worried about all that extra stuff.
Because they understand the
white-
game that they're in, and I
Because
think
white
that's a
men
problem.
ain't rocking with that. That's what I'm trying to tell you. But they are rocking with how to always stay in power and become richer. And one thing that we have learned is in this state of DEI, the black woman, coining the black woman has been more powerful than ever because you check two boxes. You check black and you check woman. And so that is why they're behind black women, because it always is going to be monetized in this
Plus,
era.
now-
okay.
White women ain't gonna monetize on black women. They're just getting deep down.
No, but that's
All right.
but
And
that-
buying
but
Tyrone
here's-
And there's a lot
Jordan.
of there's a
But
lot of
here's-
kids
but here-
named
but here's the
Kaden
thing.
and Jade
No,
and
but here-
Aiden.
Man.
No, but here's the thing though. I'm from the Midwest. I'm from a
Wild.
city that for years there was black and white couples all over the place.
Okay.
Like the city is. I grew up
Yeah.
with at least 25 to 30% of the people were mixed race,
Sounds like out here.
whether it be a white mom and black dad, or a black mom and white dad.
Sounds like out here.
Yeah.
And so I don't think, for one, yes, there are fetishes. I think there are certain things that are fetishized. Fetishized, yes. But do I think that some people get with?
I
But-
think it's a subconscious fetishization.
But I think there are also. I think also it is a where you're at. It is a proximity.
thing.
It's a proximity thing
Okay. Yeah.
that some
in
Yeah.
some cases,
white women, they're like, hey, we put a blanket.
So how many
It's
of
a
those people you
bunch
think
of
rest the
ni-
capital? How many of those
it's-
people you think rest the capital is dreaming about a black woman right now?
Who? But they're not the ones that black women would go.
But they're the
Okay, so
majority.
that's the point. That's the point.
They represent the majority of the white race the way they think.
No. The point I'm getting at is this. Going back to what I said. If we're talking about, and we're in the Victim Olympics, right? Black men are going to black women are going to win in the Victim Olympics because guess what? You don't even think that you're worthy, or do you think you can compete, or can you compete with anybody else when it comes to that? Black men know they can compete, even if we're fetishized. I can still have a black kid with Becky. I can still have a black kid with this person over there because we're dealing with somebody, or Maria. Sorry, I love Maria.
Miss Filipina, the Chinese lady,
exactly.
the Korean lady,
listen, eating lumpia and all kind of stuff,
so
right?
can
But listen, black women
Not
are
at the same rate.
not at the same rate.
Not
This
at
is
the
why I
same
said
rate.
there's
not the same rate.
Bam.
Not the same rate
Okay.
because it's a guy. It's a guy and a girl.
So this is why I said black women really need to learn. If y'all hear it, I hope this gets cut up into clips. Black women, you opted in, and you're going to be the biggest loser in this exchange if you don't start understanding that you need the black man.
All I'm saying,
You're going to be. You can't compete with Lucinda.
One thing we have a problem with is
Or Becky.
self-reflection.
Yes.
And
Facts,
so
100%.
what really should be the conversation is, if black women are on the rise, why aren't they taking black men along?
I don't disagree.
They don't
with
think they need them.
That should be the conversation.
because we've
Instead,
seen that we can
yes.
do it
That's
through
a
the state.
good question.
Instead,
we can do it by
instead-
ourselves or with the
Yes.
state
By
or,
ourselves.
Instead,
right.
the conversation is, black women are on the rise, and nigga, why aren't you?
Yeah.
And that's the problem.
Yeah.
But let's take it back, because when the roles were reversed, and we were the breadwinners, it was implied on us. It was a standard of us to make sure that we brought everybody along.
Because you guys are the
No, that's,
connector.
that's a fair question. I think that's a fair statement. It's a fair
Which is
statement.
why I
and a
said
fair
what I
question.
said. Yeah.
it's a-
Yeah, which is why I said it's like, why isn't that the conversation? And it's like when you're not dealing with somebody who's black women have went from here, and then now you're going to like Tulum and all this kind of, you want to travel. Like I said, they made us hate ourselves and love their wealth, but we never thought about the in between part where it was like, yo, African American woman. This is why I said it's like, I really hope that someone starts talking and people start realizing before it's too late that you really got to opt into the African American man. You really got to opt into blackness because
No, I think
it's going to be bad.
I think that's a good thing, but I don't think there's doom and gloom for them because
It's not doom and gloom.
It's not doom and gloom, it's
because
just-
we have been pitted
Single with
against.
your money.
No,
because
no,
we've-
100%. No,
we've been
I agree with
I
you,
think
but I'm
we've
saying
been
like, but
pitted-
can you imagine opting into something like I literally opted into something like, oh, okay, yeah, I got this job, I got this, and you're opting in, you're signing off the thing, and then you become the big, like you're the one in handcuffs. And I was like, oh, I thought I was just going into the job. You're the biggest loser of this whole thing, and all you had to do was opt into the black man and really say like, yo, he's been effed up in this situation. Let's see what we can do instead of me keep on looking at him as less than. How can we as blackness come together and come up? And you're not doing that. You're in the position where you have more education. Right now, when things are as they are, where communications and human resources and those kind of relational type of jobs are at top and black women are making more dollars, this should be the time where you're like,
But it would
homie,
be, but it would
how
be
can
a
we do it?
moment of being self-reflective enough to
and
know
I
that I
agree.
have to
Do that.
opt into
Opt into it.
the average
100%.
and not the pookies. So back to your original point.
Facts, 100%.
Because I never
I
disagreed
just
with your
hope they
original
do.
point.
I
But
just
back
hope
to
they
the
do.
original point.
I
is the
don't
fact that, like I said
advocate
earlier,
for the pookies.
average is not a problem. So if as you're on your rise, if you're going to reach back, the issue is y'all aren't reaching back for average. You guys are reaching back for. And we've had this conversation.
Yeah, we've had
that
like
conversation
everybody
all the
wants to.
time.
Everybody always wants to give the most help to the least of the least, and it's like no.
No, yeah,
You
it's a
can reach
pookie.
back to the average. You don't have to reach back to the pookies because now here you are
Pookie
3
ain't
kids.
doing
Because now
nothing.
here you are 3 kids deep and he left.
But see, I'm
Because
not,
it's the
you know,
pookies that keep
Yeah.
leaving.
I'm not
And then
even
you
worried about
expect
pookies.
average to come help.
Oh yeah, no. They
And so,
expect
yeah,
average
yeah,
of
yeah,
help,
yeah.
and I'm like,
And
nah,
yeah,
I got
I'm
it.
Not, I'm not really
out here.
like my conversation has nothing to do. I don't even talk about the pookie. Like that's just
Right.
like
So,
so.
but
That,
you
I don't
brought
not
him
even
up earlier.
But
That's
what-
why
yeah,
I-
like,
that's why that's the name I reached out
my
for.
thing is that like I said, you know, and what we all agree on is, you know, sometimes you got to bring somebody else, you got to bring everybody else along with you, and it's like we're not going to be able to get into these rooms. We're not going to get and another problem I think we have is black fraternities and sororities, because they've created this bougie mentality of black people to where they have risen, and you see them in corporate America and politics, and they haven't brought black people along because they feel like if you ain't an AKA or a Delta or whatever, you're just almost worthless to them.
It's an elitist attitude.
We're not going to talk about that. We'll talk about that next week. I want to talk about that.
Next week is Easter.
Because at 7:30, I gotta go home.
The week after, yeah, you do have to go. But no,
You all got 30 extra minutes out of me.
But that's a real good question. That's a real good thing. I've never really thought of that, like having a broader effect on.
We have a lot of divisive ways.
Well, they're the black. They're the black elitist.
Yeah.
Yes.
And not even just the ones who. Black people with education are black elitists.
Yeah.
This is why I don't like the education thing. I have a degree, and I'm like, I don't like that because
I'm saying, but
that
when
don't do nothing for us.
When you talk about the Divine Nine and look at how much impact that they have on everything from corporate, influence to, the vice president's a member of the Divine Nine.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're all over the place now. They had the picture on the White House lawn talking about Deltas are taking over. Like the Divine Nine has been impactful, yet they only service the Divine Nine, and that's the problem. It's like, what about the rest of the black community? Yet you guys talk about being a pillar in the black community and being part of the Divine Nine is part of being a pillar in the black community. Yet
pillars are supposed
you're not helping hold up the black community.
Pillars are supposed to hold up everything.
Yeah.
Not just
You're only holding up the Divine Nine.
And to be honest, there's more groups than just that, which maybe next time we'll express as far as that. But no, I enjoyed the conversation. I appreciate it. Right? This was good. Yeah.
So we'll see y'all next week. Black Pew Podcast. Like, share, subscribe. We ain't got no time. You got to go home.
I got to go home.
I know. We'll talk to y'all later. Peace.
All right, peace.